Good.
Can you hear this tapping?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Yeah. We're good
we're
now.
using the correct mic.
So is the echo gone? Why we're silent?
Eddie needs to talk.
Yeah.
Hello. Can you hear me properly? Can you hear me? Hello.
Yeah, there's no echo there. That was weird.
How weird is that?
That was weird. I didn't change
That's
anything.
so strange.
Technology is great.
That's so strange.
Oh God, I'm panicking. What, am I hearing things?
Bro, are you having a stroke? Can you smell butter?
Burnt toast, innit?
I have a shit nose. I can't smell at the best of times. So
What the fuck?
not
Oh,
now.
you're
But
gone.
now Sheps has dropped out.
Where
of
did
the
you
call.
go?
Yeah.
Oh my God! What is happening?
What the fuck is going
What
on
is
here,
going
guys?
on?
What
Let's just
the
move back to
hell?
Skype.
Why are we leaving trusted technology that everybody recommends?
right.
Skype.
We should do a Zoom call and just reset every 45 minutes.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
can
Oh
you
my
hear me
God.
okay, Tyler?
Yeah, everyone sounds good. now.
Everyone
Right,
sounds
good.
good now. Okay, all right. Let's just get into the
Quickly
video
before
before
it goes
anything.
wrong.
Let's quickly
Yeah.
squeeze
Oh,
in this
God.
episode before the next tech issue, right? Okay.
Yeah, okay, let's go.
All right. Hello there! What's happening, everybody? And welcome to Streamcast, the show on the internet. Watch the latest and greatest stuff on streaming services with you guys. I'm one of your hosts, Eddie, along with my bro, the inverted gamer, who he's probably pissed that he didn't think of that. He didn't think of that cool joke right there to say hello there and jump into the screen, you know how it is. Anyway, Sheps, how's it going, bro?
It's going good. You're incredibly lucky I'm not editing this, because that would have just
cut
been
it
a full
out.
screen of you just doing that. with
I wanted
everything.
to actually jump into the chair, but I was worried you guys would be like, "Oh,
We've
he's
had-
not ready again." Here we
We've
go.
had enough tech issues.
We have.
Yeah.
Bro, today we're not here alone. Unfortunately, we have a third wheel.
Yeah.
We don't get to have the usual love that we have between
the
us.
talent.
Exactly. We have to degrade it a little bit, the anchor around our necks.
Right.
Kangaroo Jack, say hello.
Hey, how's it going, guys? The boss is here.
Oh,
know?
here we go.
That's right.
Are you ready for the most viewed episode of Streamcast you've had since... I was last on. That'll be
We're
right.
going to be on
That'll
our
right.
best behaviour
Yeah.
because this is functionally our performance review for the year. So,
Yeah, for the quarter. Every couple of months I pop up and it's the performance review.
right, that's it.
No, but how
But
you
it's
doing,
fine.
bro?
I'm half retired anyway, so it's sort of
Half
like,
retarded,
you know,
yeah, I'd agree.
Half retarded, incorrect. Glad he said it first. He said
Right.
it. Glad he said
Your
it.
Yeah.
words, not
Yeah,
mine.
yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
No, that's true. That's true.
How are you doing, bro? Anyway, how's life? How's everything going with you? Sorry, I asked how's life. That's a bad
Oh,
question.
God.
Let's not ask that.
Yeah. Yeah, not good. No, mate, life's life's good. I'm very happy at the moment.
Mhm.
Got a lot of stuff going on. Very busy with work, with training. I've been in triathlon season, but there's been a lot of bad weather. Events have been cancelled, but hoping to. I was supposed to have one tomorrow. That's been canned, but next week the weather's finally been good. It's been raining here for months. It's been the fucking worst.
Raining for
there's this
months,
thing
that
called
sounds
fucking-
tough.
Right? It
Well,
never rains
like-
here in the UK.
But we had like flooding and people died and like in our major
Hold on,
city
hold
in
on.
Brisbane where I live.
Australians died.
Yeah. Not people died.
Right.
Not people. Come on now. Let's
But for all, that's a tragedy.
yeah, that's a shoot. We're very sorry to hear that. Though. So everyone out there, sorry about that.
Holy shit.
Yeah, we got dark straight up. We went straight to the dark zone. Right?
I'm not a part of this. I literally just put my head down. I just put my head down on what you just said about my nation.
Amber Heard, like not 5 minutes ago.
Isn't it? You're like, I'm on her side. I totally get
I
why
stand
she
with
did it.
her.
I
I
stand,
stand
with
with Heard.
I stand with
what
her.
I said was all I said was I believe women. That's
Right.
what I said.
What
'cause
you-
I'm a good
Right.
person
In fact,
and-
what
yeah.
I heard you distinctly say was, "I'm training for a fight. Can we get her on the team?"
yeah,
I mean, I believe you know,
which I am doing.
Yeah.
There
So
you go. There you go. Well,
Yeah, no,
good to
but
hear everything's
my-
good with you at least, and good with the Australian nation.
Right.
Terrible stuff.
Yeah,
Look, it's getting better. The sun was out today. It was beautiful.
what's that?
Beautiful Saturday today.
Yeah, the
What's the
sun.
sun? I've never heard of
It's
it.
it's glorious. The sky was blue. It was just it
Blue?
was an amazing day
This guy doesn't
today.
even know what colour the sky is. What an idiot!
But I mean, I'll know what colour the sky's in your side of the world soon.
Yeah,
You know, so I am heading over. So I'm so excited to see you boys.
That's right. We're busy.
And
What
beat
are the dates again?
shit out of you.
What was the date? What are the dates again?
yeah.
Because we're busy around those exact dates.
Do you know what that thing? We got
The-
that thing.
I
that
didn't
is
even-
on the time.
scheduled
The
for
thing
them.
that day.
Yeah.
It's
It's
unfortunate. It's one
Yeah.
of them. Can't drop it. Sorry, lads.
One- Can't drop it. Really important. Yeah.
No, but I'm looking forward to it. Actually, I think it'll be a good fun time.
Yeah.
And it'll be good to have all of the lads. I'm hoping for if it works out. Obviously, we're all fucking busy dickheads.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that we can get everyone down here. Like, if Ethan can work it out, if we can get James down here, if we can get George, it would be great. I think it'd be good fun. Yeah, having a barbecue or something
absolutely.
like
That'd be
that.
cool. Do a barbecue cookout or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, today is actually a different episode. It's not just a
not
live
about me.
catch up.
Yeah,
we're
let's
not
not talk
we're not
about
here
me.
here
Yeah.
to just chat nonsense. This isn't the Conversations podcast. Okay,
That's true.
The best podcast on all of the internet and all of
Where
Patreon.
can that be found, by the way?
Patreon.com/Conversations, where if you guys kick us a couple of bucks a month, you can get exclusive access to stuff like that and have your name read out as a super bro, a great person who supports us over at patreon.com/conversations. I'm getting the names up right now. Hold on a sec. And I've got it here. Just like a few of you guys already do, which are Diogo Dildo, Isak the Ultimate Cumsock, Sabine from Smallville, the Star Wars Encyclopedia, Adam Sunding. I'm expecting great stuff from you today, bro. Catspert the Friendly Patron, Jeremy Renner, that's right, an official Avenger, Super Sus Ben Fryer, the Filthy FIFA Fanatic, Joe McCormack, Clark, the 53rd, My Juicy Left Nut, the super sexy producer Sean, the fakest Bat fan, Batfish, he's a batfish.
He's a batfish.
He's a batfish,
That's
that's right. Mikey T, the gamer giant, and Kevin, the #1 simp.
I'm not doing the silence. I refuse to do that. First of all,
Listen, you just ruined
I just
the
want
best
to jump
joke
in.
the show.
I just want. No.
People come to our
so-
shows
so-
and look forward to this every week, and you rob
This
them
frickin'
of that
guy.
opportunity. I want you to know that.
Well, I was about to explain what I think about them. So you were reading that list, and then you said someone's name, and you're like, "Oh, I'm expecting big things from you today." And I remember, I'm like, "Oh, I forgot we have to listen to your fucking listeners and their opinions. I don't care."
Hey,
like
these
we get to
people-
the end of these shows, you get to the end of these shows, and I've talked to you guys about the show, and I'm like, "Okay, I'm done with the podcast. I want to go. I want to leave." And then I've got to listen to your fans.
Listen.
And their
You
opinions.
get
I don't
to listen.
care about that.
Unlike you, we only do this podcast for our listeners, isn't that right?
That's true.
We don't even care about our own opinions.
It's true.
We don't care about anyone's. We just care about. In fact, the whole thing
It's true.
before is just a warm up, so we can get to their comments.
It's right. That's why we have a Discord, so that we can talk to people. Have you ever considered Discord?
Oh, that was a stab I didn't see coming. Oh boy. It's too hot in here. I turn up the AC. That was a tough one right there.
Oh, I love
There's a murder.
that.
There's
That
been a
was
murder.
Great.
Hello,
That
police.
was good.
Yes, I'd like to report.
I'd like to report a murder.
Oh,
Anyway,
So-
he's gonna need some
man.
time to recover from that one.
that was funny.
Yeah.
That was funny. But also, I find it funny because one, it's a great line.
Yeah.
But two, because it makes me happy. Because it just reminds me that the Discord is dead and I
Yeah.
don't have
And
any stress in my life.
Extra
I love
salt
our
in the
Discord.
wound.
Go on.
We adopted all of the
Yeah.
lost children.
Everyone, they just came to us and they were like, "Could you please open your door to us?" We're like, well, "No problem. Come on in. Come on in."
Yeah, although what's really
Oh
interesting
yeah,
is
well
now
no, you
when adults run the Discord, it looks. For the record,
We don't run the Discord.
we don't run the
We don't do
Discord.
shit.
It's mostly joke.
Seriously, every now and again we put some input, but then that's about it. We're
It
like,
is sick.
so
though.
busy.
It's
Yeah.
cool. I really want
that was
to.
pretty much the exact same with our Discord. as
Shout
well.
out to our mods.
What we really should be thinking is that one day we're going to turn out like that if we continue down this path. Maybe we should put some more effort into
I mean, I'm thinking
Any-
that's the life
It
cycle
probably,
of
it probably,
a
won't-
Discord,
it probably,
right?
it,
Just let it implode
it probably
in
won't
a year.
take as long.
it. Probably won't take
Yeah,
as long.
That's a Discord should only last so long. Honestly, it's my
right,
honest
yeah.
opinion. A Discord really
It's
only
like a town hall. You want to change it every
it's-
now and again.
No, it is not. It is not. It is.
I
It is
know,
not made.
Obi Wan Kenobi has his own show on Disney Plus, and that's why you tuned in, guys.
Exactly.
To hear me and Ed talk over Tyler about how bad this show is, because I'm not joking. Right now, I hate it.
No way.
I really hate it.
Oh my
I knew
I
it.
hate it.
I knew it.
I hate it.
Oh,
I hate
Eddie, I knew
hate it.
that
Oh.
I hate
Sheps would do this. I knew going into this. I was like,
And
Sheps?
I really.
Well,
I
first
wanna,
of all, Sheps is an idiot, and
Yeah.
and
fair.
I, when I
Definitely
don't
true.
say that, and I don't hang on. I don't say that like
100% the
oh,
fact.
we're mates on a
No,
podcast.
yeah.
Like I'm joking. Want to make people laugh? Sheps is actually just dumb.
It's
so
true.
I
Ty-
knew
Tyler
going
knows.
into this.
Yeah.
I knew going
if
into
I
this.
rub my last 2 IQ points together, I'm more likely to get an erection before I get a higher IQ. You know, like it's very low.
Yeah. Thank God the penis is not a muscle because then it wouldn't work for Sheps. It's just skin and blood. That's the only reason you can get it to work.
Oh my god.
So
I want to lead out.
Go on, lead into this. Go on, let me know. What are your thoughts? Why are you a crazy person?
To be clear, everything Ewan and Edgerton, how'd Joel Edgerton, freaking Uncle
Uncle
Yeah,
Owen.
Uncle
Yeah,
Owen.
Uncle Owen
Yep.
and Kenobi is
Yeah.
amazing.
Mate, if you talk shit about Jimmy Schmitz,
Who's
I'll-
Jimmy
What the
Schmitz?
frick? Jimmy Schmitz?
or Ghana.
Oh,
yeah,
no,
Jimmy
he's
Schmitz.
fine.
Oh, you mean
Belladonna.
Detective Santiago's
Belladonna.
father? That's only where I know him
He's
from.
he's
also
actually
Dexter.
no, he's Nero from Sons of Anarchy. That's my
Oh, yeah.
the role I always think.
Oh,
of.
yeah.
Nero, fucking
No, he's great. No problems with that.
good.
But
okay.
everything.
Just,
So those 3.
Let me guess. All the females.
I was
Let me
gonna-
take a wild guess.
Motherfucker,
Then it's
I was gonna
all
say
the females,
the
dude.
female inquisitors. That's what it was.
I knew. I was like,
Yeah.
I was
I
like-
think there's one more as well. But
So It's actually the writing. It's not so much the women. Although I will say I do have a problem with Reva.
Reva, the main one,
Yeah.
the one that's
I
really
knew,
fucking
I
batshit
knew, and I knew
crazy.
you would.
I do, and I think
knew
it's
you
not unfair. She is so I do want to say I think it's probably the fact that it's going up against like Ewan McGregor as Obi Wan Kenobi, like his pinnacle role. But in comparison, she has no presence. Even compared to the other Inquisitors, I just don't find her to be a menacing force.
I see what you mean. I
I
kind of
also
see what you
felt
mean.
in like an episode 2, they work so hard to like make her cool, doing all this weird parkouring shit.
That was weird.
She can just drop from a roof. She doesn't need to be doing all of this, right? So I really feel that she's not a menacing force. And a lot of my problem isn't so much the actress, although I don't think she's amazing so far. I will say, for the first like 90% of these 2 episodes, I didn't like her. The finale bit where she's like taunting Obi-Wan and then deals with the other
Yeah.
Inquisitor, I'm actually on board up to that point. But so much of the show doesn't make sense to me. Like, I feel like we're doing this trope of like Obi-Wan Kenobi's closed himself off to the Force because he doesn't use the Force until Leia's about to be deaded.
Yeah.
She's about to be pancaked, and it's like, hold
We're
on,
really
hold on a minute. You're a Master Jedi, arguably one of the most powerful ever.
Yeah.
Who was sent to Tatooine with 2 pieces of homework: guard Luke mother frickin' Skywalker from all threats.
Right.
The Emperor, the Empire, stormtroopers, whatever. So what, you really going to let your skills dull over that, your best friend's son? And he's been given homework to like contact Qui-Gon.
Yeah.
So how is this guy this rusty? I think it's just weird writing.
I've got reasons. For
Yeah,
that.
and I
got
the
reasons.
reason I brought this up is I actually want you guys to like.
Oh,
try to convince
I
me
had
this shit.
and this is why I was excited for this, because I knew you wouldn't like it.
Yeah,
And I knew
think
there
it's
was
gonna be good.
50% of things. I think there's 50% of things I'm like, I can explain this to you. And the other 50% I'm going to be like, I understand why you don't like it.
Yeah.
I just like it.
Right.
Like, I'm like, I think it's totally fair that you wouldn't. I was watching and I'm like, I can tell the 50% of fans are just not going to like this. As soon as Leia came in the show, I loved it.
I liked Leia.
I loved everything about
I
it.
thought
I
Leia was
thought
good.
she was amazing. But
Despite
I
the
also
fact
was
that
like,
she's
there are going to be
female,
50.
obviously.
Yes, but despite that fact, despite that fact,
It's unfortunately, you know.
There's nothing we can do about
it's what it
it.
is, but
It's
she just
hard
happens to be good.
Yeah.
But I was like, 50% of fans aren't going to like this.
Yeah.
They're just not. They're just going to have a reason not to like it. And Reva was the same as well.
Yeah, I think Reva was. You either really dig her. For me, I just felt like even compared to the other Inquisitors, She just didn't have any presence. Now, in fairness, they were really done up.
That's the thing. The other ones, they have all this like alien sort of like prosthetics on top of them, and their eyes are made like to look like shadows around them, and then these piercing like yellow inside them. Whereas she's just a human. Yeah. And I was like, you don't look as badass. Even like Anakin Skywalker, he didn't look that much of a. Granted, I feel like the darkness. Because you've known him, innit? Yeah. But when he gets to the end where his eyes became things, it's true. But when you say look of presence, he was only really fucking scary when his eyes went really bad and he was on the.
I disagree. I disagree. When he's in Tatooine and his mother dies, I genuinely thought, and when they're playing Jewel of the Fates and he's even riding to find her,
you knew it was going to be a
I was
war
like,
crime,
that's a guy that can go evil. That's a guy that can become evil.
Well, then that just makes even more sense to Sheps' point that Reva sucks.
But I don't disagree with Sheps that Reva. I don't have any problem with her in the sense of I think she's just fine. I will have an opinion when the show's over.
Yeah, I think it's a bit too early for me.
I could easily not like her at the end of this show, depending on what they do, but I'm willing to see how they play it out with her. There's things I'd like to happen. I want her to be. She needs to die at the end of this show.
That would probably be.
She just needs to die at the end of the show.
Well, she's like the last. I think that has to happen. Isn't she? So
I think she needs to be killed by Vader.
I think Vader needs. I agree. Vader needs to kill her at the end.
This is the thing that bugs me about her, right? So her plan is way above and beyond what she should really have the call to be able to do. She doesn't seem to be the sort of person looking like how is she? Yeah, she doesn't. How does she have that leverage to get the information? So she manages to find out that Organa and Kenobi used to be friends. Okay, so she targets the senator of a planet's kid, sends a couple of
how would she know that would draw him out?
Gang members from whatever that planet is to go there, kidnap the kid, and somehow get the kid's daily routine, kidnap her, take her there, and all to do what? To bring down the guy who nearly killed prime Anakin Skywalker, all but killed him, and she wants to face off against that guy. This doesn't feel right to me. This is General Kenobi.
The only thing that I do like about her is that she is fucking evil, which is what the requirement is to be on the dark side, to be like a Sith, right? Even though are Inquisitors technically Sith? I'm not up on the lore.
But she's just can't be controlled as well.
Yeah.
She's a liability though, and especially when it's well established the people on the side of the dark side are paranoid, jealous, vindictive,
and that part.
So someone that they can't work with or control or understand, or they can't make a read on her. That's just danger to other darksiders.
Yeah,
you need to get rid of them so that you don't last when you're someone like Reva.
My take on Reva is that they're working really hard to make her cool and relevant and powerful with all that weird parkour stuff that wasn't.
That was just dumb.
It was weird, right?
Especially because she did all of it and then it ended up not doing anything.
Right.
It's not like she got there and headed off to Kenobi and then it was a big fight. It was like you got there and you were still late. It's like what was all that for then?
So that feels a bit odd to me. She doesn't seem particularly powerful, but we don't really know yet. I don't know, man. It's a bit hit or miss for me.
That's a good point. I don't want to focus too much on it because we do have the show to go through.
But she's a titular woman, and we have to drag her down. We do to raise up,
to raise men up above women. God.
Go on.
I just think it needs to be said. Just the overall thoughts, and overall, I like. If there's one thing I can say at the top of it is I loved. I've watched both episodes 3 times in the last 24 hours that it's been out. I loved it. But I don't disagree that there is a lot clearly with continuity and things you'd be that doesn't really make sense. And there was definitely some writing leaks, but it felt like it felt like I was a kid watching Star Wars.
I feel you.
And I guess from that lens, I'm like, there's so many jumps in logic in any kids related, and Star Wars, it just is a kid show. I don't care what anyone says. I love people that loved it when they were kids, then they get old, they're like, no, I'm a grown-up and I love it.
Yeah.
So it isn't a kid show. It's but you love it because you were a kid when you fucking first saw it, man. That's how it is. It's a kid's, and it's okay, and that's fine. Yeah, you're allowed to like other kids' shit too if you want. So I think there are things that I can just look over because what I love about Star Wars is the relationships and the characters. Those are the important things, and the history and what they can build around those characters and that history.
And
this had so much of that. and I really loved that about it. But certainly there's plot leaps. I think they did things really well where they actually enhanced the future films and relationships with characters and made things more important. Yeah. But then there's other things that are like, okay, we did take a leap there. So I totally see that. Like the prequels, they're not perfect or anything, but I really loved them, and this felt like the first Star Wars thing that was for my era of Star. I grew up with the prequels, and I know they're not perfect, but they actually do mean a lot to me. And I'm not a Star Wars super fan in the sense of I've seen the animated stuff, but I fucking love Star Wars. I was almost like I had goosebumps all over me every time I watched the end of that second episode. I was almost in tears at that moment of Obi Wan finding out about Anakin. That was like
I had goosebumps
for me when I look at this. I had goosebumps. Like there's Ewan, the best actor once again, like in the prequels, the best actor involved in the project. Whoa, incredible with it.
Excuse me, you're gonna do my boy Watto like that?
I knew you were gonna say.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
I just happen to have a chance, Gilby. The way he sold that line, it was just incredible. Brought a tear to my eye.
Yeah, it's true. But I just wanted to say that this felt like the first thing that reminded me of my growing up with Star Wars. And I love Luke and I love Leia, and I watched all the originals when I was a kid too. I loved them. So I love that it just continued to do what my Star Wars movies did as a kid, which was connect to them and build them and raise them up and make them more important. And I thought it did that. Like, there's so much this movie did for A New Hope with Leia's character.
Yeah.
Personally, that I thought was incredible. And when you go and look at the links, it just actually adds and makes so much more sense when lines are said. And I'm like, this is great.
It is good.
So, that's overall, I really liked it, but there's faults,
I do want to just, because I want to hear your thoughts. Obviously, I was clickbaiting with the I hated it. Right? Like, I was trying to get attention.
No, he's backtracking,
I didn't. I need to rewatch the first two episodes. I didn't particularly enjoy, I think overall, those first two episodes. I think there's, like I mentioned those points. I will say everything Ewan is incredible.
Yeah.
And the last 5 minutes of episode 2 really has me saying, I don't know if I feel okay saying I didn't like the first two episodes, because those last 5 minutes with him finding out about Anakin and realizing, and then on the shuttle, that Anakin at the end, and then the shot of Vader. Buckets. Just buckets of cum. Oh my god.
Buckets of cum. Yeah.
Buckets.
There we go.
How did you feel about it?
I really, really did like it. There was I have this thing sometimes where even the minor stuff tends to blend away when I'm seeing stuff that I really do like. So we're just seeing Obi-Wan put on the hood, and then I even noted in my notes the first time that he crosses his arms and he touches his mustache in that way that he does, and I'm like, oh my god, it's him, it's Obi-Wan again, it's Obi-Wan, and stuff like that. Anytime I see that sort of stuff, all the blemishes sort of disappear for me. Now you're saying them, I do notice them. I don't feel like they take it away from me necessarily from what I saw and what I loved and how I felt in those moments. I have to say, I really liked that they did a lot of practical stuff in this TV show. I thought that maybe it'll be a little bit less budget, but this looks like the same practical stuff that we got from The Force Awakens that we thought was really cool, because they decided to go practical rather than CG. And at the beginning, that I put in the first thing that we notice here, in Coruscant, when it opens up and the younglings are being attacked, they got real stormtroopers there in the outfit in the suits that they would wear, the clone troopers would wear, and you've not seen that before, because it's always been CG before, and in the animated shows you've never seen it in real life on TV. And I was like, that's so cool, and that was really amazing. And then all the aliens, they were all practical as well. It was fucking great. It was really
does
good.
Sort of feel like we could have ended episode 3 and then it just faced back 10 years later and we picked back up. It does feel sort of like, obviously it's not movie budget, but it's pretty close.
It was pretty good. Anyway, I really liked it. I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes. I think you can see the potential of where things can go, and just knowing that Anakin is there, just knowing that Anakin is going to make his big appearance, Vader now anyway is going to make his big appearance. I'm waiting for that moment, and I'm going to explode those buckets of cum that you guys just said.
We're going to fill this room.
Yeah.
Can we just
I think.
Go on, bro.
I'll just jump in. I think when I look at this show and whether I can see why someone wouldn't like it. And the reason I say that is because you go in wanting one of two things for this show. You either want it to be a really dark, only really Obi Wan Kenobi focused show.
Right.
you know, that really like Logan-esque type moment
Yeah.
where there's no hope. It's a character study piece. If that's what you wanted, this is not what this isn't
Doesn't
it.
seem
You know
to
what I
be
mean?
it,
Like
yeah.
this just isn't it. If you wanted the Star Wars Episode 3.5, the Skywalker Saga, that's what this is.
feel like that's
And
more
you
what
know
it is.
what? I feel, and I was happy with either. That's why I was so excited about it. I'm like, look, it can go either way, and I'm going to be happy either way. That's how I feel about it. And I love that this is really just the next episode of the Skywalker Saga, because it is.
Yeah.
And it feels that important.
With the one point I wanted to bring up as well were my thoughts. I actually feel the opposite to you. The way that you said you felt about Obi-Wan losing sort of touch with the Force almost and whatnot, because obviously the way they're trying to pitch it is that he just hasn't used the Force. And it's like, okay, you don't forget how to use the Force in that time.
And also a couple of times he speaks out to Qui-Gon.
Yeah, he tries to speak out, but
Yeah.
it didn't actually get a response. So I don't know like what he's trying
Because
to
they're
use there.
saving the reveal for the final episode. Where
Exactly,
we see
or wherever he's going to see him.
And
but
then again, Buckets.
what's going to happen? He's going to
Liam
fight.
Neeson,
He's
dude.
gonna fight Vader.
Qui-Gon, Force goes Qui-Gon, buckets will be spilled.
He's going to fight Vader. He's going to get defeated by getting pushed off of something. And then when he comes back, that's when Qui-Gon's going to come in, give him that boost, and he's going to go back to fight Vader for the last time.
Buckets.
Anyway, what I was going to say was, I feel like it was kind of okay, because think about what happened after episode 3. After episode 3, he scrammed to like save himself, to save Yoda, to save the kids, get them to the right place. And then after that, he just had 10 years to contemplate the fall of the entire Jedi and how it was basically his fault. He was the one that trained the guy.
But
that
also
did it.
how like, because he has and this is why I will explain to Sheps with one of his issues was like, you know, he the fact that he did leave Luke and his one mission was to do that.
I don't actually
why
mind him
hasn't he
leaving Luke
kept
to
up with
save
the-
Leia. That's not a problem for me.
Yeah, it's literally the only explanation that is acceptable.
Yeah,
if you
exactly.
if you put it like that.
Yeah.
Because if they're both as important as each other, you go for the one that's actually in danger,
I mean,
not
let's
the one
not
that's
let's
safe.
not say
in that moment.
you know, they're twins, but one's female.
Yeah, not
you
really
know?
a person.
So
You know it is. You know it is.
Oh no! There's so many things
All right,
you guys
let's
have
get
said
into the
today.
actual-
Where I've had to put my head down.
we're getting cancelled. isn't it?
Let's get into the
Yeah,
episode.
Leia.
Let's
Before we
get into
start,
the
can
episode.
we just
Oh, here we go.
Can we just take one moment to say how impressive it is that Kenobi does have his own show? In the original movies, Alec Guinness has like 10 minutes of screen time and became this iconic figure in those 10 minutes. And then Ewan McGregor has taken this from Padawan to Alec Guinness.
Yeah.
And in no disrespect to Alec, Ewan McGregor's Obi Wan Kenobi.
Yeah.
I don't see them as two actors. I see them as Obi Wan Kenobi. It's incredible.
I agree.
I
I
actually don't know how to really explain what I'm trying to say.
I don't think it's ever been done that way before. No one's ever been able to capture that, right?
It's so incredible, and this character's so fleshed out. By the way, we haven't seen the animated stuff.
Yeah.
Have you, Tyler?
He's had sex with girls,
I
so he
love how
doesn't
you're
watch
gonna call me-
animated
you're-
things.
I love how you're gonna call me. Do you? Because you call me T all the
Yeah,
time.
all the
I love how
time,
you're
yeah.
like gonna call me T and then call me T. But do you ever say it on camera?
What call you T?
I don't even. Yeah.
Sometimes.
It's involuntary, so
Yeah.
it
You're
probably
the-
has done.
Yeah, it is involved. You're like the only person that calls me that, but I just accept it in my head.
Oh yeah, I don't care if
like,
you don't
yeah,
like
that's
it
what
either. That's what
I'm
I'm
T.
calling you.
Yeah, no, you've never asked.
Yeah, no, I just
yeah,
don't
yeah.
call you
Oh,
T.
no, I don't. Yeah.
Have you seen the animated stuff?
No, I mean I've seen clips on YouTube,
Yeah,
mostly of
me
like Ahsoka, because
Yeah.
I wanted to get caught up and a bit hyped
Is
for this
it?
show. To be
Simp.
honest. Yeah.
He saw those big green things off of her
Yo,
head and was like, "Oh, I want
I'll
to
tell you
squeeze
what,
them, baby."
Rosario Dawson.
Oh yeah, she's good for that. She's good for that.
I'll be dead of dehydration, but buckets.
Anyway,
There's a lot of
episode
buckets going
1.
on.
Episode 1,
That's
Kenobi. We open up with a recap of the prequels.
Yeah.
And it was pretty epic.
How good was that?
So
How
fucking
good that
sick.
recap.
That
That
was-
so hard, and also I'm
Oh.
like, this is the best way to show someone Star Wars because it recapped in such a good way where you
Yes.
couldn't see the faults. I was like, oh, this perfectly just ignored all the
I've got
bullshit.
11 minutes.
This
Can I watch the whole prequels?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on a
It
minute. We're not going to
perfectly
do the whole
titled
sand
the
scene.
strings.
We need... Oh, man, I hate sand. It's coarse. It
What
gets
about that
everywhere.
beach?
The weird, like...
Oh, God.
Oh, God, no. Oh, no. Anyway, we get the
Right.
recap. It's epic. I really liked it.
Yeah.
And then we start off the show. Go on.
No, sorry. The recap's really important,
Go on.
and I
It
think
is.
it's so important, and because you brought up the Qui-Gon stuff, you brought up all these different things. You know, when you watch a recap for any show, and like, let's say you're watching a long series, like a Breaking Bad, a Game of Thrones, or a Sons of Anarchy, and when you get to those later seasons and it randomly drops, like before a Game of Thrones spoilers, before Benjamin Stark comes back, way at the end, they do it in that recap. They reintroduce you to Benjamin Stark that you haven't seen in 7 real life human years.
They spoil it
for a fan,
and
it's like the only reason that's in the recap after all this time is because he's obviously coming back in this episode. So when you watch recaps of things, there were things that happened in that recap. I'm like, oh, the only reason that's in this recap is because they're obviously going to establish it. And the moment they had the Yoda line of like, training I have for you. You know, your old master. And then he's like, Qui-Gon. I was like, oh, so Qui-Gon's in. Confirmed. I mean, it's not going to happen at the start.
We knew.
No, we didn't. I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
This feels like...
I didn't know
You're
that.
dumb, that's why.
Yeah, you're stupid. I feel like, because we all knew...
I wanted it to happen, but like they could just ignore it. It could just not be in the show. They could be focusing just on other things.
All three
like, oh, it did
Spider-Men
happen.
were
The
in
dumb
No Way
thing
Home.
is, the dumb thing is that Tyler's right. This is only put there to remind people of who this is, and to people who haven't watched any Star Wars to know this person's coming back. This was a person in his.
Well, they just haven't watched Star Wars in years.
Well,
like my parents will watch this show. They love Star Wars.
Honestly,
way
if
more
they
than
didn't
all
do it, I'd have
came
been
out.
fine as well.
On the other... The really heavy-handed bit is the bit at the end with Yoda saying, training I have, your old master. Oh, Qui-Gon. That's heavy. At the beginning, it could have been like, oh yeah, they're reminding us that this guy used to be like an incredible warrior, a Sith that could defeat a Jedi Master he defeated, right? Like, this guy is a powerful dude. And then at the end of that recap, and I'm like, cool, I can't wait to see Liam Neeson. Thanks for confirming it.
Thanks for confirming it for us.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I felt on the recap. But it got me excited because I'm like, holy shit, they're really... Well, this is, again, is this an Obi-Wan
9-movie
character
marathon,
piece, or is
boys?
it or is it a Skywalker saga, like episode 3.5 thing? And by the fact they're addressing all the different prequel points of all the characters, not just Obi-Wan, I'm like, this is Star Wars 3.5.
Yeah.
It's 3.5.
Okay, so we start the actual episode, in Coruscant, where the younglings are training, and Order 66 just blows up in their face.
Top 1 genocide.
Top 1 genocide. Oh, God. No, don't say that.
Oh, I saw that clip.
The fucking hell, man. Fucking hell.
Rwanda who?
Rwanda, who's Rwanda? Holocaust? They weren't even nothing compared to Order 66. Seeing the clone troopers bust in, and again, I really love that they weren't CG, that they actually made the suits the first time, and they looked so gorgeous. They looked so great. And it shows, obviously, a little slither of what happened in the Jedi Temple. All the Jedi got slaughtered. Everyone went down. Terrible, terrible shit went happen. Then we get the title card. It looks all cool, like sandy Obi-Wan and stuff like that. And then it says 10 years later, and we're on a sandy planet, which definitely could not be Tatooine.
It's probably Jakku, right?
It's the only sandy planet we ever go to, okay? So Tatooine again. The Inquisitors, they land nearby. They land in the middle of the town, and they start walking in.
There is one thing just before that. A few of the younglings escape.
Oh, yes.
And then that's obviously Reva.
Obviously.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's obviously, but it's not that obvious. It's sort of like, I felt like it was a weird... I don't think they needed this scene.
The thing is that you anyone who doesn't know Star Wars wouldn't know that, like, okay, they've gone, Vader's probably picked them up and, like, brainwashed them or something like that. It could have just been, Reva could have just been a random person that he found along the way.
Obi-Wan.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll find out about that more later, I guess. Inquisitors land nearby. They go into the local town. The locals are obviously afraid of these guys in black suits and weird triangle things on their head.
Yeah, that was weird.
And the Grand Inquisitor talks to everyone like, you know, as if like he's Caesar or something like that. Just talking to everyone. Talks to the saloon owner and runs him through a rumor that he heard, saying that, you know, he has a tactic to catch the Jedi, and it's actually a pretty good one. It's like the Jedi, they can't help themselves but help people, and when they do, that's when they get found out. And imagine this: they came here and he helped you, blah blah blah. Did that actually happen? And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. But Reva grabs one of the knives that she finds on the table.
She's too busy waiting, right? She's very impatient.
She's very impatient. Throws one of the knives at the barkeep, the saloon owner, and someone uses the Force to stop the blade. Yeah. And then we see the guy on the side with his hand up like that. He's like, there he is, and they quickly chase after him.
This scene was really bad. It was really clunky.
With the thing dropping down.
All of it.
That bit dropping down was quite bad. I have to say that the roof dropping down.
I also got to say
I really liked the explanation for, if you're not a person that knows who the Inquisitors are, like explain the way they hunt Jedi, but it also set the scene of
Doesn't he
This
say they
is the
hunt
r-
themselves
this-
or
this-
something? Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the point. That explanation is so good because that literally explains why Obi-Wan's not in touch with the Force. Because he's the smartest, where he's literally like, I am not going to fall for that. I've given up.
Yeah, that's fair.
I am not going to use the Force. And they establish that right after because someone like gets pushed. He's like, this is only half. And they're like, you're going to do something? He's like, no. Because if I did,
true.
I would show myself, and I'm not going to show myself because I have to protect Luke, and if I'm dead, I can't protect him.
Yeah.
So I've just got to stay alive at all costs.
That's
That's the way I saw it.
That's definitely a good point. Obviously, we know, thanks to Jedi Fallen Order, that he's just forgotten how to do all of it.
Yeah, Jedi Fallen Order. He needs to remember how to jump again. That's
Yeah.
how it is.
And the one Jedi that does like protect that owner in this opening scene, he ends up dead.
yeah.
And like, and
True.
Obi-Wan's telling him, "Don't fucking bury
go away.
the thing. What
I
are you
did
doing?
love that line
Don't
when
do
he's
that."
Like, go and bury the thing somewhere in the sand, and then in episode 2,
Yeah,
here it goes.
Fucking
into
Yeah.
the
guesses
middle.
what you- exactly.
that's what he did. And Anakin's. Don't forget
Oh,
they
I
were both
love-
next to
I
each other
love-
like that, side by side. I was like, "Oh, that's
so many
fucking
people
haunting."
are not gonna realize what's going on there.
Yeah.
I got chills then as well, where he's like,
Me too.
they're wrapped and they're next to each other,
Yeah.
and it's, I don't know, man. That's
Yeah.
such a
Forever.
What that
buried
represents like
buried
those
the
two.
Jedi
It's like
Day,
they
yeah.
both died. Well, they both died. Like when you look at that Revenge of the Sith battle between Anakin and Obi-Wan, they
Yeah.
both died.
together.
they
It wasn't
both
just
died
him
in that moment.
Next to
Yeah.
the lava. It was
Like
just both of
yeah,
them.
Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker died. Ben Kenobi and Darth Vader were born.
yeah.
Like that's what. That's how I now like look at that battle.
I'm
and
gonna
the moment
rewatch
he's
these
buried.
episodes already. I need to. I might change my opinion.
This-
Yeah.
This is all
Yeah.
spoilers. This hasn't happened yet.
What
in
are
our
you
talk.
talking about?
What are
Yeah,
you talking about?
The good part about this show though is like, yeah, there are faults, but there's just so many of these like moments, important moments that
yeah.
mean a lot, that I'm like, you know what, I get that it's probably not like the greatest like perfect show or anything, but I just fucking love the moments, and they mean so much to me as a fan that
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. The experience of watching it is fucking fun.
I
Yeah.
want the if you're gonna watch chronologically or in the show, I want it to go like, okay, you have to watch episode 1, 2, 3, Kenobi,
Yeah.
A New Hope, and you know, like I would like for it to,
Solo.
of course. I'm so sorry. Solo, Rogue One,
Rogue One. Yeah, yeah.
A New Hope. Yeah,
There
of
you
course.
go.
I can. I do. I will say this. This isn't a meme. A New Hope starts with that final Vader scene from Rogue One.
Yeah, yeah. You just need
watch
to
that.
slice that
Yes,
last 10
agreed.
minutes.
Oh,
in.
100%.
Watch that.
I mean, I love Rogue One as a movie, so I'm fine to
Well,
watch
you
that
have
movie,
no
but I agree,
opinion.
at
You're not
least.
allowed to speak anymore. Let's just time from this call.
Back to the episode. Back to the episode.
It's important though because it shows freaking Vader. Also, I don't know if you saw this,
Yeah.
but he did say he'd be open to doing a Vader show.
They are?
Yeah, I definitely
Well,
saw that. I've
oh,
watched.
I
I swear to God,
Yeah.
I watched so many interviews through the week, all
Hayden,
like on my
yeah.
lunch
wait,
breaks
he
at
said he
work.
was
I'd just be
open
on
to doing
YouTube
a
watching
Vader
Hayden
show.
Christensen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw that. Yeah, I
Okay,
saw
cool,
that, yeah.
cool.
I thought it was confirmed already,
Oh,
but he
no.
said he was able to. Anyway, so we find out in this scene that Reva has a fixation on Kenobi. She wants to go for bigger fish, she's saying, but the Grand Inquisitor is like, know your fucking place, okay? Like, get back in line. I won't stand for your insubordination. But he's a bit of a shit leader, as we find out later. So then we cut to Obi-Wan. He's working what I first thought was a mine, but then I saw
It's a
like
meat
tuna
mine,
bits. And it's like, I'm like, okay. It turns out they were harvesting an animal that's like in the sand, and they're cutting bits off. He cuts a little slither off for himself, shoves it in his top pocket, and they clock out. Turns
Well,
out
it
that this is a bit like Ray's port where she's handing in her scraps.
Right.
They're severely
1/4
underpaying them for their
portion, yeah.
work. It's like, this was half. Yesterday it was a full. And it's like, get the fuck out of here.
Tyler did say though, this is Kenobi not saving the cat.
Exactly.
This was the save the cat moment, and he didn't.
He could have done something like the guy even stepped to him and he could have easily just knocked him out or whatever, but that would draw too much
Yeah.
attention,
Yeah.
so he's playing the part.
Exactly.
I'm nobody, don't
Yeah.
pay attention to me.
I will be honest. I did sort of want it to be a Logan-esque thing where it's like, you know who he is? Oh, that's right. He's just gonna like implode you into like a just with the Force, just
Turn him into a dot.
yeah,
Yeah.
turn you into a dot or a pancake or something. But
We then see him. He goes home. He goes to his cave in the middle of nowhere, and some Jawa comes to his cave to trade him some sort of fin-looking thing. I didn't know what they were.
didn't you see it as a tri-wing before?
Well, yeah, it was in like a bag, and I was like, I don't really know what it
Okay.
is. And anyway, I saw it was like a ship fin type thing, but anyway, whatever it was. And Turns out the Jawa's been jacking his parts from his vaporizer as well, and they're like, "Oh, I just happen to have one."
His evaporator, bro.
Evaporator. Sorry, I thought it was vaporizer. My apologies. Evaporator. I don't think this is a real thing, so I think I could be
These are
forgiven for
important
that.
distinctions, man.
Anyway, and then the Jawa says, "Hey, I've got one of these as well," and it's a Jedi's like belt. And he goes, "Oh yeah, there was a Jedi around here. The inquisitors have been chasing them. It's good for business." And he's like, "Don't count on it. The Jedi are all but extinct." Trying to play the part again that there's no Jedis around and keeping him a low profile. Then we cut to him sleeping, and he's reliving all of the worst parts of his life.
PTS dreams, isn't it?
Exactly, all of the parts between him and Padme, him and Anakin, everything going wrong. He's just having these dreams flash in front of him.
Right.
And it's quite torture. That's why I thought that his life has been pretty terrible the past 10 years. If 10 years later he's still having PTSD dreams, that's maybe why he doesn't want to even think about the Force, because of what it reminds him of.
Yeah, maybe.
It was quite powerful.
There's so much pain and blame, clearly, and guilt that he feels,
Yeah.
and he puts on himself. And I think they establish it really well throughout the show, and it makes that last part of episode 2 even more impactful.
Yeah.
One of the things, the very next scene, and this is why I liked seeing this dream, is him watching over Luke.
Just before that, when he wakes up, he does call out for Qui-Gon, but there is no answer there. Yeah, and then he goes the next day. He's out on the rocks. He's looking at
so
Luke.
it's like the evening or something.
Yeah,
and he's watching Luke, and it's very much like he's sitting there in silence. Man, he's so good, because I felt like he might as well have been reading a monologue here,
right?
About like just like your father, because Luke runs off and goes and like basically simulates pod racing, or being a star pilot or whatever, and he's just watching it like just like Anakin, right? It's exactly like Anakin, and man, that scene,
same age as well,
same
as
age.
Anakin and Phantom Menace.
It gave me chills, and he didn't even say a single freaking line.
It was great,
and that's why I think the dream sequence before was so interesting, and so is Uncle Owen's line later about just like how you trained his father, because
that was hard.
The reason I think all of this, what it comes down to, is that Anakin Skywalker didn't turn to the dark side. That's not how Obi-Wan sees this.
Yeah.
He sees this as the dark side came to Anakin, and he wasn't strong enough. He wasn't the brother, the father, the friend to Anakin that he needed to stop him turning.
Yeah.
So it's not Anakin's. It's not Anakin that really took down everything. It's Obi-Wan's fault, because he couldn't save Anakin.
Yeah.
And
this is so great.
And even in like those little moments where, like we said with the lightsabers, because they both died. Oh my god! I changed my opinion.
This episode's great. So everything's great, man.
Yeah, I changed my.
But this is what I meant. Like, I'm like this. Yeah. Well, I mean, I really just think the majority of the show, I just saw it as this is episode 3.5. I think from the moment they showed the recap and there's all this prequel stuff, I was like, oh, this is. I was like, what vibe am I going into with this movie? And as soon as they showed the recap, I'm like, okay, well, that's the moment. That has confirmed what this show's going to be.
Yeah.
The continuation of the Skywalker saga.
Yeah.
So
Fair.
I just definitely feel like, those good moments outweighed, I guess, some of the Reva stuff, which I get is probably at this point the most boring stuff of the show, because it's just the character I care the least about.
There's scope later.
I actually didn't mind the Grand Inquisitor, because I like Rupert Friend a lot.
I'm really worried that people are going to think that's Darth Vader.
Yeah, some people are going to be like, oh, so that turns into Darth Vader later. He gets his face messed up.
No.
I'm really
some
worried,
idiots are going to think that, but anyway.
No way. No way.
Just as a note for us, okay. If we continue at this pace, we will be here for 5 hours. Just so you know, I'm not saying shut up. I
mean, we are
I like
talking about
conversation.
I could tell.
But there is sometimes where, like,
frustrated
some people
with
do
us
the long pause thing like we do. It's like, I just want to say, at this point, and then it's like, okay, it's taking 10 years. Don't do this to me. Come on. I'm not being angry. I'm not trying to tell everyone shut up, but this we will take through.
Cuts out of the episode as well.
Sheps, he's so mad, dude.
Oh,
He's so mad the fact that he said that.
But if you had plans later on, you should have told me. I would have. Let's talk about your plans. You're okay.
So it's really important. I promise you, I'm not being mad. I just. Oh my god!
No, we do to have the tendency,
so
especially
mad,
if we're talking
the
Star
three
Wars
of us,
to go,
especially, it's a disaster. That's what it is. Anyway. He's looking from afar. Nightfall comes, and he goes up there and he drops off the toys, and he leaves. He doesn't do anything. But that's when he's going back to the cave. When he's going back home, he feels
Yeah.
like he's being watched. Looks around, and then eventually,
Unnamed Jedi 1.
unnamed Jedi 1 with the face markings and stuff like that pops out, and he's like, "Hey, I need your help." And the guy's like, "Are you lost? Something like that?" And Obi-Wan tries to play the part like he doesn't know who the fuck
my
he's
name's
talking
Ben,
about.
yeah.
It's like, no, I'm glad I found you. I need your help. You know,
Also Master Kenobi as well. yeah.
exactly, Master Kenobi. It's like, I don't know who you're talking about. I think you're confusing me with someone else. Eventually, he just gives up. He was like, you need to put that away. Like, take that to the
Go
desert,
into
bury
the
it.
desert and bury it in the sand.
Exactly.
And this is one of those scenes that, like, the purpose of it was really great to establish what two views of the Jedi are at this point. Ones that'll get killed and ones that won't, and it's the one that literally is so committed to the Jedi being dead, and those that are still fighting. Like, that's the risk, and that's why Obi-Wan hasn't used the Force and he's rusty. That's the way I feel like they're just nailing that part home of, like, the mindset of Obi-Wan Kenobi and this compared to what other people may have out there. But also, this guy should not fucking know Obi-Wan's there.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like,
thank
that's
you.
the other
How
thing
does
as
he
well.
get that?
If I'm
So-
Obi-Wan
so-
Kenobi, I might kill this guy here.
Yeah.
Because he's
Yeah.
next to Luke
Like,
Skywalker.
that's-
How did you track me?
Yeah.
I've been a ghost for 10 years. You track me to Luke Skywalker,
And it's
you've
not-
got to go.
Yeah.
It's not
How did
like
you
Yoda
So
find
it's a
sent out-
double-edged sword scene.
It's not like Yoda sent out a PSA. It's like, by the way, if any Jedi are looking for a friendly Jedi, you
Right.
can either come to Tatooine and find Yoda,
Right.
or you can
Dagobah.
come find me on Dagobah. It's peace out. Not like he fucking did that. How did this guy find
It
him?
felt like 6 seasons in a movie had happened to this Jedi character to find Obi-Wan Kenobi, and we're just seeing him here.
right.
And there's some parallel
done
bullshit.
multiverse
Made
where,
it.
where he's like
After
the
all
main
those
character of Star Wars, and he means so much to them. And we're watching like, who the fuck's this guy? He's got fucking bitched out. Like, he finally made it to Obi-Wan. It felt because he's like, you have no idea what I've been through to get here. I'm like, dude,
So much
I don't.
stuff.
Yeah.
I
You're
really
right.
don't.
I
How
literally
much?
don't even know your name.
Yeah.
Anyway, he tells him to go, and then we cut to Naboo. I presume it's Naboo, right?
No. It's
No,
all
it's
Oh, no,
not-
wait,
no,
no.
it's not
Alderaan,
Naboo,
my
it's
apologies. I'm
Alderaan.
fucking idiot.
Look at this
You
guy. He's beefing
I don't
us
even-
out about us
idiot.
talking about Star Wars. He doesn't even know.
I said Alderaan. What are you hearing, bro?
It's probably we were confusing him, and he's like scared we're going to out him because he's like, I got nothing out of this conversation because I actually don't know Star Wars.
My apologies.
These two clearly do.
I didn't. I did write down Naboo. I thought for a second, but it's not Naboo. It's
Naboo.
Alderaan. It's the place that
Naboo's
got
so
destroyed
iconic.
straight
It
away.
doesn't
Okay,
even look
it was
like
meaningless.
Yeah, Alderaan has about 3 seconds of screen time, and most of that is an explosion.
Cut to Alderaan.
I knew, but you see it in Revenge of the Sith, and that's how I knew it was Alderaan straight
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
As soon as this, yeah.
Cut to Alderaan.
I was like, holy shit! What was your reaction to that though?
direction to
Was Leia? I was like, cool.
Well,
we're gonna get to see
because
Leia.
as soon as you saw Alderaan, where you're like, holy shit, it's gonna be Leia. That was the
Yeah.
big moment to me. That I was like, they're doing it. This is how deep
So-
and important
yeah.
they're doing with this show.
I'm
They're going
actually-
They're going this hard. They're going this hard.
I'm actually really glad that Leia's getting some time here, and I hope we don't get too much more of Luke, because Luke gets movies, and he's in The Mandalorian or Boba Fett and all that stuff. He's in all the other
Yeah.
shows. Right?
Yeah, we'll see.
Everybody knows Luke. Leia turns up in A New Hope, initially as this princess who's just quippy.
Yeah.
Like, where does all that come from?
And we're getting some good backstory.
And
here.
then the next movie, she's the leader of the rebellion.
Yeah.
How does this happen? And now we're getting to see that she's grown up with the Organas and how they react. And this guy helped fight the Empire. Lost, but he led the insurgency, right? Like, that's who Organa is.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
how he's raising Leia. I will say I was a little bit confused because the actress for Leia is tiny.
Very small.
I thought she was like,
but she was supposed to be 10.
yeah, she's supposed to be 10.
Yeah. But
I thought she was
but
a
I mean, she
toddler
didn't
almost.
talk like she was.
Leia's
She
pretty
didn't talk like she was 5. She
She
talked
did, you're right, yeah.
like.
So I was a bit confused.
And
'cause she's
and
so small,
for
but-
anyone like, why is she so like smart? And I just felt like they were too over the top. I'm like, what was like? Look at Anakin when he was 10. He was building droids from
He
scratch
built a
and
pod
pod races,
racer.
like, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I
chuck
feel
the thing
like
on his
who,
shoulder.
Leia being way advanced in like academia
Yeah.
and world understanding and worldview,
And
and being like
understanding
curious about
people.
what's out there.
So
Yeah, and understanding people, like, for sure, she's just good at reading people because she can sense it.
that's what I
She
was
can
going to say.
sense people's
do,
fear.
Do we think they're sort of nudging that Leia's so good
Yes.
with people? Good. I'm glad
Definitely.
we agree, right? Because she's
Especially that
incredible.
Yeah,
cousin
that's what I
moment. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, this is way more than what you should be.
I literally wrote for that. Leia shreds her cousin.
He gets
Yeah.
fucked. We cut
Shreds him.
we cut
Loved
to
it.
we cut to the to Alderaan. We see Leia being dressed as royalty should be from all of her handmaidens, but it's not her. It's actually a friend that's like taking the place of her. And it's like she said you wouldn't be mad. And it's like what's going on. Anyway, we cut to actual Leia, and she's climbing trees in the woods. She's got her little droid talking away. They're checking out ships that are flying away. Saying which ones are which, what they're probably doing, la di da.
That spirit of adventure is strong in Leia. Yeah.
It's really good, really good.
Just like her father.
Just like her father.
Oh shit! She wants to get off planet as well. Just like, oh my god.
Exactly. Just like another Skywalker in the later movies as well.
Rey.
Exactly, Rey. Exactly.
that put my blood pressure up just saying it.
Anyway, her mother comes by.
She was more like Obi-Wan. There was so much of Obi-Wan that I'm like, this is just the Jakku scene. Like, if somehow Rey in the sequels was Obi-Wan related to Obi-Wan, that would have been so much better.
That would have been
like,
cool.
and it's just
Nah,
there could have
makes
been
more
parallels
sense
still
for being
being drawn with
Palpatine.
that.
Makes more sense.
I
Makes
don't
more
mind her
sense.
being a Palpatine. I do mind her being a Skywalker. That bugs me. You don't just get to be a Skywalker.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Everyone's a Skywalker now. Anyway, the mother comes along. She seems nice and she seems like cool and stuff like that. It's like, you know, we have important things to do. If you was to put more effort into this, then you'd be better at that. You'd be a great thing one day. Takes her away and takes her to go get dressed. I do like how Leia tries to play her mum, though. It's sort of like, Mum, I'm so sorry. I won't do it again. Hugs her and then steals her droid back that she confiscated from her.
Mum's like, you know, I can feel you doing.
Exactly. It's so funny. It's good stuff. I like the kind of kid she is.
But somebody's watching from the woods.
Exactly. Someone with something behind his head. We're like, ooh, what the hell?
Yeah, that was weird, isn't it?
Really creepy. Anyway, we cut to Obi-Wan. He's putting another shift back at the space ground thingy-mabob tuna fish, whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
Goes back to his space camel, and Uncle Owen is there. Uncle Owen chucks the toy at his feet, and it's like, you ever come near him again?
That's not exactly what he says.
I'll fucking do your
says.
knees
He says,
in.
and I quote, I'll fucking kill you.
Right,
Like,
right.
He
that's
does
what
his
says.
knees in. That's what he does. Anyway, and he's like, it's just a toy. You completely misunderstand. It's like, no, I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to like put the ideas in his head to try and get like, you know, Jedi mind trick him.
No, he says something like, he says, I'm just watching him, and Owen says, no, you're watching to see if he's showing.
Yes, and then he says, you know the deal. When he comes of age, he must be trained. And he's
Like you trained his father. Oh, mate, dagger to the heart.
deep right there. But Obi-Wan takes it. It's like, I mean, because like I said, he's been thinking about it for the past 10 years. He's just like, fuck.
That's a really
And it
good
just
point,
shows so
Owen.
much like, you know, like Owen has those feelings of like, at least he's Luke like his own son. He's raised him since he was born.
Yeah, and he is
for
family.
10 years.
Yeah.
And he probably over time resents the fact that he always had this stepbrother that he'd heard about and only met the once, but was this sort of world exploring Jedi that got himself into danger. And then in the end, it caused the Empire to come in. So you're probably a guy that's like, yeah, what? Fuck anyone involved in that shit. You know, people just... He's the regular person that hates politicians.
It's
That's
a
just
really
politicians.
good point.
And he saw his brother as someone involved in all that shit and also died doing it. And now he's got to raise his child. And though he loves Luke, he also sees the danger of it all.
Yeah.
So it's just like you totally see that perspective and him just like, you know what? I don't want that shit in my life. And I love my nephew, so you're not going to do it to him either.
Another pause here to just appreciate Joel Edgerton, and Uncle Owen.
He's an incredible actor.
He's amazing, by the way, and it's a real shame Uncle Owen isn't such an important character because, and that's another thing. Obi-Wan got like 5 minutes of screen time. Uncle Owen got all of this. Uncle Owen, oh, they're dead. Oh well, can we go on the spaceship then? That's what Uncle Owen gets.
Do you know what's great about Joel Edgerton?
Go on.
Do you know what's great about Joel Edgerton? He's Australian.
Oh shit! Never mind.
No wonder
He
why they
gets
didn't.
what's coming to him then.
Yeah.
No wonder why they didn't want to give him more time. Fucking
Makes
can't
sense,
trust him. Anyway, just as he like they say their final words, like stay away from him. Obi-Wan just sort of stays quiet and lets him do his
Something
thing.
kicks off in the town.
Exactly.
Yeah.
2 Inquisitors start patrolling the area and they start asking for information. One of the Inquisitors, the one with the triangle hat thing, who is he kind of like an android? Because there's something in his voice that makes him seem kind of like robot-y.
And also, he seems like he's got blue blood in his mouth all the time.
Something
It's weird.
like that. Anyway,
He looks cool though. He looks ominous.
Yeah, and he is a bit more like he's a bit more reasonable of the Inquisitors, where he's like there will be rewards for anyone who gives us
fifth brother here.
Yeah, you'd be rewarded for any information that you guys give. Anyone wants to talk to us. Anyone who's found though And then the third sister, Reva, just straight away just butts in with like, we'll take off your hands. And she takes a more brutal approach. Just like, first we take your hands there. Every time you reach for something, you remember what you did. And then she picks on Owen. It's like, do you know anything about...
Well, she cuts some lady's hand off.
Exactly,
She says,
does.
you can't do this out here. We're not even...
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, do you know anything about a Jedi? And he's like, no, I don't know anything. It's like... And
Man, Joel Edgerton's so good.
Exactly.
Edgerton. Big J.
So what do you think about the Jedi, huh? It's like, Jedi are vermin. I work on a farm and we kill vermin where we are. And it's like, and she's sort of like, this is a good man. This is a good man right here. And instead of putting the threat on him, it's just sort of like, everyone else, if you don't tell me where this Jedi is, if you don't give me information, Owen here and his family die.
And his family, yeah.
And it's like, you're okay with that. And then I'm like, Obi-Wan, what the fuck are you going to do in this situation? You're going to out yourself? It was very tense. She counts down from like 5 or something like that, starts counting down, is about to attack Owen. Luckily, the other guy's a bit more sympathetic for some reason, and he puts down a picture of is it a picture of the Jedi?
Yeah, it's a hollow of the
other guy, the other guy we don't know about. And it's like, if anyone's got any information, you come right to us, and then interrupts her. And she's like, okay, so next time we'll sort this out.
Uncle Owen's got, I don't know how he gets his trousers on.
Yeah, balls of steel, this guy.
The big brass ones.
Yeah.
The dude's got a serious...
When you're a moisture farmer on a sand
Tatooine,
planet, dude, you have no other way to be but a bit of a cunt, to be honest. You know what I mean? Just a big dick cunt.
Like,
yeah.
all the wildlife on Tatooine.
Can you imagine how, like, if you saw his hands, like, if you ever had, like, you know, when you meet people that work on a farm, these old guys, and their hands are just fucked.
Just calluses
all over. Calluses all over.
Yeah.
Could you imagine what Owen Lars's hands look like?
Right.
Holy shit.
It's either really moistured because of all the moisture that he's putting his hand into, he's a moisture farmer, or it's really hard, like you said.
Think about, he says we shoot vermin.
Yeah.
What we know of vermin is that a womp rat is 2 meters big.
Yeah, it's like, that's no bigger than a womp rat. 2 meters? What the fuck?
And that is about as friendly as Tatooine's wildlife gets.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you've got Sarlacc. You've got, what's that frickin' thing under Jabba's palace?
Oh, I don't know what that's called, but I know what you mean.
All the stuff on Tatooine wants to kill you. Also, think about the fish. It's swimming through sand and Obi-Wan's mining its meat. Like,
exactly.
The wildlife on Tatooine is going to
Hardcore.
kill you. Tatooine is going to kill you, and this guy...
It's the Australia of Star Wars.
Right. Nobody wants to be...
Was this shot in Australia?
All of your criminals. And
no wonder why no one wants to live there. Anyway.
no wonder why he likes it.
Exactly.
He identifies with it. But, like, and this guy farms water.
Yeah.
Like, Uncle Owen's a hard guy. I think because he gets just immediately seen off by troopers when we first find out about him. Everybody thinks like he's a nothing nobody, but
he's pretty hardcore.
And also he faces down Obi Wan Kenobi. Obviously not in a fight, but in like a battle over his son, basically over Luke.
It's very cool to see that, cool, and the only thing that happens in between next is that the third sister, you can tell, is pretty unhinged. The other guy, is like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You're taking it too far. You're overstepping. Blah blah blah. And then we cut back to Obi-Wan saying thank you to Owen for not like giving him up, and he's just like, I didn't do it for you. Yeah, walks off. Hard man, hard man right there, Owen. We cut back to not Naboo, but Alderaan.
That's right.
And Leia and her family are meeting people, and Santiago's father's there. So great, that guy is fantastic. And 3PO, is that 3PO that I saw in the background?
Some respect. It is. Put some respect on Jimmy Spitz's name.
Santiago's father, yeah, exactly. And Leia sits down with her cousins. They're all talking and stuff like that. And Leia's cousin is a dick.
He's a knob.
You're not even really a real Organa. You're just some kid who isn't allowed to go out of the palace, isn't allowed to go out of the off-planet. You're nobody. And then she immediately just turns it around. It's like, you're afraid of your father. You're afraid that he'll never accept you. And I'm like, whoa, this is some personal shit.
Shreds him.
Absolutely shreds him to pieces. And he so much so that I guess he goes crying to his dad, because the next scene is like, you need to apologize to your cousin. It's like, what? It's just words. Calm the fuck down. Yeah. Not like he punched him in the face.
That was the scene where I'm like, there's just going to be a bunch of dickheads on Twitter that are going to hate that. And I'm like, how? It's Leia.
Yeah, it's great.
She's amazing.
you're an
I
idiot.
love her. I'm like, I
If you don't
fucking
like Leia, you're an
love
idiot.
that they're doing this.
Yeah.
This is Leia's.
Yeah, I agree.
Leia's great, in
Yeah.
spite of her gender.
Yeah.
So the mum tries to talk to her. There's a reason why there was only one woman in the original trilogy, because we was trying to get them out of films together.
Right.
We almost had them for a little bit, but then it fucked up. Anyway, Leia speaking with the mum, and the mum can't handle it, and the father goes, "Okay, let me talk to her." Leia storms off to the edge of the balcony, sits there, and he starts talking to her as a decent human being. It's like, one day, this is all going to be yours. People are going to look to you. You're going to be a senator. She's like, I don't want to be a senator. That's probably why you're going to be the best one of them all.
Yeah.
And tries
Loved
to really.
it.
That's
Great
a
scene.
real
Really good.
serious line as well. That makes
And-
sense.
Exactly.
But also, and because it adds to who she does become, obviously
Yeah.
one of the best ever. But also, it establishes they did so much for Leia to me in this show, in just these 2 episodes, to establish her so much in better stead and more meaning to what happens to her in A New Hope specifically. Her because she mentions her father all the time, but you never see Bail in A New Hope. But she's like, my father will hear about this to Darth Vader, her father, like all this sort of stuff at the start, and it puts weight to. We know who Bail Organa is. We know what he's been through. He's a major character. Also how much she trusts Obi-Wan. It's not just because he knew my father in the Clone Wars and that's it. Like yes, he knew my father in the Clone Wars, but he means so much to my father and our family. And
how these
to the point of that's why she trusts
know each other, whether they
help,
know it
help
or
me,
not.
Obi Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
It's gonna add so much more to that.
When it's like, I'm Luke Skywalker, I'm here to rescue. She's like, who? And he's like, I'm with Ben Kenobi. And she's like, oh, Ben Kenobi, he's here?
Right.
Like, she has that excitement and she says it.
That's
she's like,
always been one
wow.
of my things. Is like, she doesn't know Ben Kenobi. She knows Obi Wan Kenobi, but she did meet Ben Kenobi now.
Yeah.
She's like,
yes,
Ben Kenobi's a Jedi hero. He's
stitched
saving
together.
this is actually real. Forget it. I love the show.
Forget everything you said at the beginning.
It's good.
The one thing that she does say is that, like, she obviously takes to heart the fact that she's not a real Organa, and she says it's like, I'm not even a real Organa to her father. And he's like, what did you say? Listen, you're as much of Organa as I am right now. And Pripper brings her up. It's like, you are the Organa. You're Leia. You are the one. And really gives her the good pep talk to feel like she is wanted, she is needed, she's not some outcast like
she
the
never
kid was trying
changes
to.
her name, by the way.
Exactly.
Leia's always Leia Organa.
Yeah, and it's amazing. It's good.
Yeah. Yes, she is.
It's perfect scene.
and I love that.
Yeah, I love that too.
Yeah.
She then says, I think at this point, I got the feeling that he knew exactly what she was going to do, that she wasn't going to come back to the party. She wasn't going to think. She's like, I'm just going to go back to the party and you can go and apologize to your cousin.
I think he says, I'll wait for you downstairs
Yeah.
or something like that, yeah.
And immediately she runs off into the woods, and he says like, she said she was going to come down and apologize. I guess I'm not as good as I thought, persuading her and talking to her. But she goes into the woods and
Immediately runs into kidnappers.
immediately runs into this kidnapper, who are the dumbest people in the world, by the way. This is like
It was very
Home
slapstick,
Alone
innit? Yeah.
1-esque. They're like,
Again, it felt
3
like
guys.
I was watching a kids. It
how do I
felt
get
like
this
a kid's show.
poor little kid?
Again.
And this is what I mean, like, Star Wars is a kid's show.
That's the thing.
It really is.
It's true. Even the original Star Wars was kind of intended to be a
Yeah.
kids movie. Like it's for kids. It kind of bugs me because of how good like the rest of the show overall is, and like there's combat people. Obi-Wan just immediately blasts people and stuff.
Yeah.
And here's this kid go,
Yeah, I can't get you. And then when one of the guards show up, immediately busts a cap in his ass,
Right.
and it's like, okay, you don't need to shoot Leia, but you could at least like jump on her or something like that to like grab
There's
her.
a point just before they actually get her where like 2 come in from the side.
Yeah.
She runs up to one, stops, and then ducks
Yeah.
to the side. It's like you could have grabbed her.
This is like a poor sitcom.
Right. It's like,
Anyway, they get her in the end. They stick a bag over her head and she's taken away. The parents, they call Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
You hear the and he goes into his
I love
his
how
chest.
deep down that's buried.
Right, proper deep.
Yeah.
It's inside a
Yeah,
big
yeah,
case,
yeah.
takes off the cover, takes off his clothes, opens up a smaller case, and it's just right there in the side, and it's just beeping. And then he takes a second to look at it. He's like, oh, do I even want to open this
Right.
right now? Like, am I even the man that should open this? Like,
There's only 3 people that have this number: Yoda, Organa, and Anakin.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
and he opens it up, and they basically say, "Yeah, she's been taken. We need your help. You need to be the one that gets her back. Anyone
She
else
needs you, Obi-Wan.
Exactly. It's like if
Yeah.
you have guards, why don't you ask them? It's like that will draw too much attention. We'll find a bounty hunter. It's like no one understands the importance of Leia. You do. It needs to be you.
He's really reluctant. I can't leave the planet. I can't leave Luke.
Yeah, I can't leave Luke. My mission's here.
And he's like, she's as important as he is. And
I'm
that's
glad
also
they
an
said
important
that.
line.
And I will also say, I got the... Let me know if you felt this. But I got the feeling that Obi-Wan wasn't really saying, I need to stay for Luke. It felt more like he was afraid to go back into the world.
Yeah.
I agree.
I agree.
I agree with that as well. Yeah.
He's just so he's lost all of confidence in his own abilities.
I mean, I think they established that because when Organa does get there, which I hate.
I hate that. It doesn't make any sense.
And also I know exactly where she is. Can you go?
Right. I know exactly where she is, so I came to you first.
Such kid movie logic. I don't care because again, kid movie logic.
Yeah.
So it didn't bother me at all. It is what it is. But it was that like, okay, we're really just. We get it. I just want to see Obi-Wan with Leia, so whatever it takes you to get there, just ride it in.
Right.
I don't really care if it makes that much sense. But Organa, convincing him, and he says, yes, it's not about the boy. Don't pretend it's about the boy.
Yeah.
You've made mistakes. We all did. You couldn't save Anakin,
Yeah.
but you could still save her.
It's that line.
And it's like...
Kenobi, at this point, he has 5 friends.
Yeah.
And 1 is Darth Vader. Right? So
Yeah.
who's the only other person?
Well, 4 because he doesn't even know Darth Vader's a thing yet.
Right.
So
Yoda's on Dagobah.
Yeah.
Probably his only other friend in the world is Bail Organa.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so who would know better than him to say, you couldn't save Anakin?
Yeah.
Oh,
So deep.
Yeah.
Once we jumped just ahead a little bit, but there was a bit in between where like
It also,
after he,
but that sorry,
Go on.
that also does establish, and they've established it twice. And this is the second establishment because Owen said it. He's like he trained his father. I'm not going to make the same mistake twice. When he goes, Anakin's dead. It's establishing the fact that because fans might not know going into it that Obi-Wan doesn't know Anakin's alive.
Yeah.
right.
Like people don't like they're setting up. Just a reminder. He thinks Anakin's dead, guys.
Yeah, he killed Anakin.
So when it does come up, when it comes up later, be surprised. It's a big moment.
Does he
when
know
finds out.
Anakin's called Vader?
no.
He doesn't.
Yes.
Yeah, he
Yes,
does.
Oh, no, he
know
does.
he's
Yeah,
Darth
my
Vader.
apologies.
Because
Saw
he
the
goes.
hologram.
He
Yeah,
said, yeah, and he goes. You allowed this Dark Lord to twist your mind, and
Yeah.
he has all these lines, and he says, he knows.
Yeah.
Saw the
his
security
name's Vader.
holograms as well.
Because
isn't
I
it?
was thinking about this. I thought a lot of people would say, well, how can he not know about Darth Vader being there, right? Because I've always pitched this movie like Vader, hero of the Empire kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
He's on the outer rim
Clearly not.
of known space, basically, of this system. Tatooine
Yeah, exactly.
is like the Wild West. You go there to get away from things. Yes, there are stormtroopers, but there's not very many.
Yeah.
And what you think they're going to be talking about, Lord Vader saved the day. Like, that's not, he would have escaped news. Plus, he's staying
These
away
would be the
from...
runts of the
They're the runts of the
stormtroopers, and
runts.
probably
In the-
ones that are doing things that shouldn't even be there
Right,
anyway.
and he lives on the outskirts, on this outskirt planet,
Yeah.
and goes to this outskirt job. Like, he would never have contact with that. But I just couldn't remember if he knew Anakin was also known as Vader.
Yeah.
Anyway,
He did know
Former
that.
Vader.
yeah,
he
does
died.
know, yeah.
And yeah, so
that's why as soon as she goes, Lord Vader will be pleased. I'm like, holy fuck, it's
Yeah.
happening! Oh my fucking
Yeah.
god,
Yeah.
it's happening. Sorry.
we have to see him process that in the next episode. That's going to be so
Just
good.
that look at the end of episode 2. We need side table so bad.
Yeah. we do.
Just that look at the end of episode 2. Oh, mate, chills. I'm getting chills thinking about Owen. Oh my god, Ewan McGregor's so good.
We'll get to it because we'll spend a bit of time.
Yeah.
He in the first video call, he says like find someone else, and he goes to work, and then when he comes back to the town square, that's when they see the Jedi has been strung up after the Inquisitor have catched him, and that's like, you must feel like really fucking shit. Like, I could have helped this guy. He came to me for help, and I didn't help him, and it's happened again where like Jedi have died because of me.
This is kind of a weird moment because, like we said, or like Tyler said at the beginning, there's 2 types of Jedi. There's a smart Jedi who completely stayed away from all of it,
Yeah.
and then there's the rest that kept living by this code, and that's what you get when you live by the code.
Yeah.
And now he's kind of being pulled back in because Leia is is missing. Like,
It's
Leia
almost like
needs
he after he has the phone call, he's like, he knows what will happen if he comes out. He could end up like this guy, but then he sees what could happen again. It's like, I'm technically making the right choice, but I'm not, because it's Leia. Anyway, it's a tough.
And
tough
as well, like to me, it's the perfect thing in the sense that there's a big. Let's don't get it twisted. It's such a logic jump.
Yeah.
That Reva kidnapped Leia because
man, it's
Organa
huge, yeah.
maybe knew Obi-Wan. Dude,
That's
the
a massive-
leaps that happen in this are wild.
Right.
But ignoring all of that, if you were just to tell me, oh, why does Obi-Wan leave Tatooine? That's dumb. That doesn't make sense because you would never leave Luke. Oh, no, Leia was in danger.
Yeah.
I'm like, yep, that's it.
Yeah.
Because she is just as smart as he is, and you're gonna, if out of the two of them, you're gonna rescue the one that's actually in danger, not the
Yeah.
one that no one's found
it's
yet. You'll
thin.
take the. Let's take a couple weeks, save her, get back, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
It's thin, but to get Leia in danger, or one of them in danger. Okay, cool.
You'll allow it. And after he sees the Jedi and thing, that's when he goes back to the cave, and Detective Santiago's there straight away. Somehow he found him in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
He knows, I know where Leia is. I've seen that I've been following another ship that's been, and I know where he's going. I need you to find him. And he has the big speech, like we just said, about one last fight, and he agrees.
Oh my god!
God.
He doesn't actually fight Vader in A New Hope. This shows his last fight. It might well
Exactly.
be. Well,
Yes.
whenever he defeats frickin' Darth Maul.
We cut to Leia. She's got the Lola droid thing that she tries to pull out of her pocket, turns it on, and basically 2 seconds into trying to cut her restraints off, the guy immediately pops in.
Comes in
and
for no reason to be mean to her.
For no reason, grabs the droid and smashes it on the ground. And you're like, oh shit, there we go right there. And I was like, you crossed the line now. That droid was quite cute. That was put in the TV show to sell
clear merchandise.
to sell merchandise. That's what it was there for.
And you know what? That's what Star Wars is. I watched the prequels. I bought the video games. I had all the Legos. I had a clone gunship
Baby
Lego.
Yoda's
I had a
there?
Jedi Starfighter Lego.
You think Baby Yoda's
I had
there for his
Obi-Wan's
great
Jedi
dialogue?
Starfighter from Attack of the Clones in Lego form. I got it for like my 7th, 8th birthday was Obi-Wan's Jedi fighter pilot, Star Pilot from Attack of the Clones.
Yeah,
there
boy.
you go.
The Lego. 100.
We then cut back to Obi-Wan, and he's in in the desert, a different part of the desert than before. They all looks the same.
Yeah.
And somehow he finds in one spot after digging,
The Force leads him.
it leads him. It's like a glowing light he can see because
Right.
he's force sensitive. His midichlorian
I wouldn't call it a
count is
light.
quite
It's
high.
probably a bunch of pain. It's probably a bunch of
Yeah.
pain.
Yeah, just
that
like
he
the headache.
has
And wherever he gets closer, the headache goes away.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway, he goes there, he digs into the ground, and he finds his lightsaber, his and Anakin side by side, buried in the sand. Fucking
What that
amazing.
represents is outrageous. Outrageous.
It really is.
so
And the
great.
fact that like they're buried
Yeah.
they're buried with respect.
Yeah.
They're put in a box. He could have just put them in the box, but they're covered
Yeah. Folded over nicely.
and laying
I'd hate
next
to
each
say it, but
other.
also another Rey Obi-Wan parallel with this.
no,
Burying the two lightsabers
Rey's-
together on
who's Rey?
Tatooine.
You talking Rey Skywalker? You
Who's
talking
Rey? Who's Rey? It's weird because you're talking about Rey, but this goes in between the prequels and the movies.
We've
Who's
never
Rey?
seen even the original trilogy yet. That's,
Yeah,
that's where
right.
this movie is. Anyway,
Yeah, sorry.
wrapping up this episode, taking Leia. This is where we find out taking Leia was actually a trap to catch Obi-Wan, and the third sister is the one that orchestrated it all.
Yeah.
Complete leap in logic, like we said. No idea how this would even be connected, but she did it, and that was the reason for everything. And the final scene
It's
we
not
see.
impossible. It's just so unlikely.
It's so unlikely.
so
The
weird.
thing is, she puts it as an assertion, as if she figured it out. It's like Leia is Luke Skywalker's child, and Obi-Wan is protecting her.
no.
That's why we're trying to draw out Luke. That's how she presents it. She doesn't say those words, but she says it as a certainty. But it's not a certainty. It's just a little hunch, a little thing, maybe, possibly.
It's way thinner than that, bro. It's way thinner than that. When she presents this to the head guy in the next episode, she says, "I found a link between Obi-Wan and Organa."
Imagine presenting that to a judge. What link?
So basically, that's the thing. She said she's been going through everything Obi-Wan related in the archives, found that he and Organa used to be friends, and so she's kidnapped Organa's kid. So Organa will call Obi-Wan to save his kid.
He's been friends with that alien in the diner in episode 2.
Right.
Take his kids as well, just to be safe.
Right.
Just to be safe, we'll take his kids.
Obi-Wan used to go to this diner in Coruscant, so we're gonna
take his kids as well.
Even thinner than that. Yeah.
So dumb. Anyway, and then we had the final scene where Obi-Wan, he's got the hood on, he's about to leave on this last transport that's going off of the planet, and he's hesitant. He's like, "Do I go? Is this?" First of all, is it like, am I going to be able to do the job? Is Luke going to be okay? Everything's swirling in his mind. And then the woman immediately is like, are you coming or going?
Yeah.
Takes a second, but then he goes on the ship and he goes.
Well,
and
important thing
into episode 2.
So, he hands her the chit or whatever it is to get on, put something away, and we see the lightsaber.
See the lightsaber, yeah.
I would have paced this slightly differently and had that unbearing the lightsaber and him wearing the lightsaber, maybe like episode 3. And I would have had him do that scene, but he has a blaster where he's still not returning to being a Jedi. That's how I sort of felt like it would go, because otherwise, why hasn't he used it? By the time that whole planet's looking for him, pulling out a lightsaber.
Good point. Anyway, that's how that goes, and that's episode 1. Episode 2 opens up with Obi-Wan landing in... What planet is this then?
Don't know, don't care.
So it's a planet, and it's got lights,
named,
neon lights and stuff like that. And he gets there, and he's like, "Oh, excuse me, can you help me out? I was tracking a ship, and when I got here, the signal was lost." And then the guy's like, "When you land here, everything gets cut off. No signals in or out. People like their privacy here." So he's like, "All right, I have to do this the old-fashioned way, like me and Anakin used to do back on." Oh wait, I don't want to think about that.
Right.
And he goes, "If there was ever," he says as well, "If there was ever a time for your guidance master, it's now." And then, like, as if like he does something. Almost, he doesn't say anything, but out of nowhere, he looks over to the side and spare me a few credits, and it's a clone trooper.
I actually really appreciated this.
An old clone trooper, and he's like, you spare a few bit of change for an old veteran to get a hot meal.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit!
I can't believe he did it.
Yeah, he did. He gave it to him. I mean, he cared about those stormtroopers in episode 3 and episode 2.
Yeah.
Well, he cared about them all the time. It's only because they were trying to kill him that he ever turned away from them.
Genocide.
Exactly. It was a hard moment.
It was the best genocide out there. It's my favorite one.
Favorite genocide.
And that's the thing this is the face of his genocide.
Yeah.
Imagine everyone in Germany had Hitler's face.
Everyone, yeah.
Right? Like, that's kind of what we're talking about here. And he gives them, like, I don't know, I thought that scene is going to get really overlooked by most people. Yeah. I thought this was a really powerful scene.
Really good.
And I don't know, man. I feel like Obi-Wan maybe shouldn't have done it. He should have been a bit more petty and been like, starve.
Starve, you fucker.
Nah, it's Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Clone.
He's the man.
Yeah, he is the man.
He's the best.
He just grabs him and he's like, I loved you like a brother. It's like, what the fuck are you, bruv? It's like, okay, a different you. Sorry.
Yeah, it's a different you. I'm sorry.
Okay. Anyway, and I was a bit hazy. I don't know at what point they switched from using the clone troopers to conscription, because afterwards you see stormtroopers come in, and there's a female one, there's a male one. So obviously this is conscription versus the thing. They don't mention it. I don't know what the timeline is. Someone who watches maybe Rebels or something can let us know about that. And Obi-Wan asks a local dealer, goes, I'm looking for information rather than drugs. Yeah. And she's like, "Oh, if you're looking for a girl and she's on here, you're never gonna find her. No one ever leaves here. I used to be a girl that was here, and look what happened to me." She walks.
Those aren't her exact words,
but something like that. I was a girl that was left here.
He says, "I'm looking for my daughter," and she says, "I used to be someone's daughter too."
Correct. Another kid though pops out of nowhere and is like, "I can take you to a Jedi. Jedi will help you out, no problem." And he's like, "Okay, all right, interesting. We'll go this way." And it's the guy that got hench from Eternals. I don't know his name.
Oh God, I'm gonna frick it up. I don't want to do it like I did with Frederick Wong.
Frederick Wong.
It's Benedict Wong. I know it's Benedict Wong.
Kamal, that's it. Yeah. All I know is that he got in terrific shape for Eternals. And,
everybody thinks that's natural, but he literally changed the shape of his jaw.
He was the perfect
nerdy guy.
The perfect example in this show of like, well, you're something that's only here because this is a TV show and not a movie like we're supposed to be. That's really what it was.
Yeah.
Really what it was.
You see him get this woman and a child, and they need some help. They need passage.
You knew instantly, right?
When he goes, he's using his Jedi powers to close the blinds and stuff like the shutters. And I'm like, that's not Jedi powers. That's not. Yeah. And then he like magnetically pulls the comm device to his hand, and he's like, You will let the boy and the mother through gate 3C. It's like I will let the. Anyway,
one of the things
scamming people.
One of the things I actually appreciate about that is that it is laying out that like there's been this trope in Star Wars that no one knows about the Jedi, no one believes about them, no one believes in the Force.
Mm-hmm.
But like Han says, like, oh, you believe in these magic tricks.
Yeah.
And this is kind of showing like people have heard of these things, but
Yeah.
most people haven't seen them. And
They wouldn't know if they saw.
And especially now, this is 10 years after the thing, so most people haven't seen anyone Force sensitive,
Yeah.
at least in this world, this like society.
Well, that girl's son has powers. That's why they were trying to
he has.
escape.
They're saying that he's Force sensitive, right? But we don't exactly know. Although I think I agree. But again, no one's seen like a trained Jedi.
Yeah.
Most people haven't, and so they've heard what Jedi can do, and him doing these tricks and like this is a Jedi mind trick. She wouldn't know
Yeah.
what that looked like. She'd just have heard that Jedi could do these things.
Yeah. Yeah.
So at least it establishes why people like Han go, it's all fairy tales. Like,
Yeah.
bruv, what are you talking about?
Yeah,
Like,
because
10 years ago, there was a huge freaking genocide, the best genocide over this thing.
Yeah. So they go off, and he immediately drops the act. He's like, "Yeah, those guys are coming. Make sure you get them through on the thing." But I can't believe these guys fell for another one. He's like counting credits and stuff like that. But then Obi-Wan walks in and is like, "I need information," and he immediately goes back into his act. It's like, "I can help you. I can help you, but all I ask in return is a few credits to help me as for my kind, I must stay in the shadows as the light is unforgiving."
Yeah.
And he's like, "How much?" And he's like, he basically says the best part of 1,000 credits. He's like, I love Obi-Wan's reaction. He's like, "Oh, that light must be terribly unforgiving." So I'm just like, anyway, he pulls out a blaster and he calls him on his bluff, and he's like, I think it's all
Pulls the
buttons
magnets out of
and
his
magnets
gloves,
and stuff like that. And he tells the guy, he's like, what does he tell him? He says he's looking for something about sewers, and he tells you I have to go to the sewers, and he goes to a club basically that's like really shady and stuff and things like that. And that's where he does the moustache twirling for the first time. Where he's outside, he's looking, just surveying the area.
How to get in.
And then he sees one guy get out, and he's dressed a little bit differently. Goes inside, turns out it's a drug lab.
Yeah, he goes all full Walter White.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Gets dressed up, and he puts a mask on so the people can't see his face. And he sets off a little explosion to distract the guard from one of the doors. Swipes his ID card, opens up the door, goes in there. But immediately gets spotted by two other guards that are on the other side of this restricted door. So, hey, what are you doing here? Oh, I was just looking for the restroom. I must have got lost and whatnot. And they have a little bit of a fight. What I like about this fight here is that Obi-Wan punches the guy, and he's not used to punching.
It's been 10 years since he's been in a fist fight.
Even then, he's not really a fist guy. He may like bump someone with his elbow or something like that, but really he's a lightsaber and force kind of guy. And when he punches him, he's like, oh, my hand. And I'm like, yeah, this is even back in the day, you weren't exactly throwing haymakers.
Jedi's would also...
Like
I don't know, but it makes sense that Jedi would
themselves.
also would be trained with some sort of like, you know, they can do these martial art ability. I don't think that's a big stretch to think that we just don't see that. Right?
I don't think so, because
well, we saw the
hand to
younglings
hand.
training kung fu or something at the beginning. So.
I personally don't think so, because even when, I know this is a line and I know how much you want to put faith on it, but even when he's shooting General Grievous in episode 3, he even says like, so uncivilized.
Yeah.
Because Jedis are supposed to be more civilized than lightsabers and force and more like thinking things out.
Way more civilized.
Whereas like kung fu and boxing isn't really civilized, I would say.
The training, the martial training, it makes sense that they would sort of know how to use blaster weapons, they know how to use their lightsaber and have like a basic... Also,
it does go hand in hand with like sword fighting as well. Like
training some sort of martial art. So I don't mind that. Plus, again, he's also a fighter. And people that are fighters don't tend to only be good at one thing. They tend to know how to fight.
They're like, oh, I don't know how to play golf and I don't know how to do anything else. I don't know how to... Anyways, goes there.
Right.
Anyway, yeah, so he goes into the drug lab, he messes up those mercs, and then he goes into one of the rooms, pulls off a rag. Yeah. Oh, it's Leia, is that you? And it's just a turn-off droid. It's just nothing. And he gets ambushed by the three mercs that took Leia.
They say as well, she was right.
Yeah, you would fall for it. I can't believe you fell for it.
It's that line again. It's pretty cool. I like that line. It's very sinister. The Jedi
and he basically lays out the whole plan that was going on. It's like, she was right. Don't worry, she'll be here soon. Don't worry about that. Yeah. It's like, wait, Leia must be close by if you guys are guarding her. It's like it doesn't matter. You're not getting away. It's like, I'm Obi Wan Kenobi.
Right.
I'm Obi Wan Kenobi. God damn it! How do you not believe this? Anyway, he gets the drug thing that he had, smashes it on the
Spice,
ground,
yeah.
puts on his mask, and they all get like too high to do anything. And he leaves, and he actually goes to one of the rooms, senses on the door, almost seems like he's trying to feel what's inside there, but we don't know. He goes in, and Leia immediately clocks him one in the lower region. I don't know what's going on there, but she's badass.
Leia's
anyway.
got spirit.
Yeah,
She's a
Yeah.
fighter.
yeah, she gets him good. He then immediately explains, like, look, I'm Ben Kenobi. I'm here to rescue you. You need to follow me right now. She's like, why should I
Get
trust
fucked,
you?
old man. I don't know you.
My dad told me not to go to strangers like you. We know what you do.
I gotta be honest. I actually really appreciate this. She's just not. She doesn't just believe him.
Yeah,
And then he's like, "Well, do you want to stay here?"
yeah.
No. Okay. Well,
Fair play.
it's not that I trust you. It's that staying here is definitely bad, and
Yeah.
you are only maybe bad.
Yeah.
So I actually really appreciate that.
But she doesn't change in A New Hope. She doesn't just go with Luke. She goes with Luke after she mentions Ben Kenobi.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all
Like,
right. I
I'm
didn't
with
even
Ben
think
Kenobi.
about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she
She's-
immediately
she's
changes
like,
to Ben
Luke-
Kenobi.
Luke-
Okay, yeah.
Now we're going.
She literally says, Ben Kenobi, where? And then they
Yeah.
leave.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what she
fair,
says. I watched it today.
They.
I'm
Uh,
gonna have to rewatch
because-
all of this stuff, aren't I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every episode you have to start from the beginning and watch again.
It adds so much to Leia. I'm telling you,
It's
I
really
loved her
quite
in the
clever
show.
writing.
And the fact
Leia.
Yeah.
and the fact that we got to see an adventure with Obi Wan and Leia.
That is
Like,
pretty
you know what I
cool.
mean? Like the same way you saw, like, you know, Obi-Wan with like 10-year-old Anakin. Like when you see them in
yeah,
Phantom
and-
Menace, it's
and
like the
young
same as
Luke.
Obi-Wan and 10-year-old Leia. And I'm like, I hope we get something similar to this maybe with a Luke
Yeah, that'd
in
be
the
cool.
later episodes. Like even if it's like an episode, like Leia gets the first episodes, Luke gets maybe the last two, or you know, somewhere else.
I really think we
Like-
shouldn't see Luke because we know. And
I think we
saw
should.
Anakin.
I think we. I get what you're saying. I just think
yeah, it like there's no.
no, I think
romances
it.
and-
I don't think it should be. I don't think there should be as much as Leia.
I
don't
agree.
think we need 2 episodes. But if there's an episode or a couple scenes, like 10 minutes,
Does anybody
you know,
want to see
because he
more
obviously
Leia?
knows and has
I
heard.
want to see more of Leia.
I want to see more
Yeah,
Leia.
yeah,
Yeah.
I would say yes. I don't. Yeah, I would say I'd happily see Leia more.
So they get outside and they go, and they immediately see that the Inquisitors are there, and they've tracked them down. Obviously, Reva's come there because she knew she was supposed to come there
Yeah.
for Leia and Obi-Wan.
Basically, Leia and Obi-Wan leave.
Yeah.
Reva arrives,
Yeah.
find the spice-addled henchman,
Yes.
realizes what's happened. As she's leaving, the other Inquisitors
That's how
have
it
tracked her,
That's how it goes.
and they're like, "What the hell are you doing? You kidnapped a senator's daughter. You really do not have this kind of juice, but you kidnapped the
Yeah.
senator's daughter." Blah blah. And she explains, "I found a link between Organa and Kenobi,
Yes.
so I kidnapped his kid, hoping he would call Kenobi to come here, and he
Yeah,
has."
Prove him
but
a
it's
bit
also you've got to remember why there's such tension between the Inquisitors. Like I know they're all evil, but they need to toe the line because their whole mission is to find, by orders of Darth Vader,
Yeah.
who if they don't succeed, he will kill them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they're like to not die, they need to do good at their job. Their job is to find Jedi. To find Jedi, you need people to help you and give you information and trust that the Jedi are evil, we're the good guys. So doing shit like Reva's doing, they're like, what the fuck? You're fucking up. You're gonna get us all killed.
Chopping off
You're
people's
a
hands aren't going to
liability.
get people
Yeah.
to trust you.
Well, also,
Yeah.
the Empire and as it is now, like, it had an insurgency.
Yeah.
And it also there were 4 or 5 years of combat in Rebels, which is the Jedi dealing with an insurgency with the clones. They know that to get people on side, you don't threaten them. You show them that you're not to be messed with, but you're here to help. And you're going to reward people for information. You're not,
I was going to say, at the end of episode 3, where, like, obviously they tell the lie that the Jedi tried to overthrow the Senate and stuff
Yeah.
like that, the typical line is like, so this is how, is it democracy
this is how
dies?
democracy
This is
dies
how
to-
Liberty
This is how,
dies.
this is how liberty dies.
to
with
thunderous applause.
Yeah.
So those people believe it, and they're going to relay it to their planets and stuff like that. So there's going to be a whole bunch of people in the universe that believe that the Jedi were evil, and this galactic empire is actually the
Yeah.
good people.
And
And
there's still a Senate. Like
exactly.
Yeah,
Organa's
still
still on
exists.
the
They didn't
Senate.
just remove
Exactly.
it. They
It's
just removed
in
its
A New Hope where it
power.
gets dismantled into nothing. But so there's still that. There's that propaganda that's gone around there. And Reva's doing it completely backwards. It's like you're threatening people as if we are the bad guys. We're pitching it we're the good guys to these people. And they think that. We just need to go along with it and teach them about that. Anyway, yeah, the Grand Inquisitor comes up, and he's got a real beef with her, and it seems like that she. I don't know.
He says you're the least of us.
Yeah, you're like the least of us, and calling her filth and scum. It's like you didn't earn this.
She used
and
to be a
stuff.
Jedi.
Exactly, and it's real bad. It's real bad, but she doesn't. It just makes her more angry, if anything. It doesn't like calm her, stop her
Then
from
he
doing
says,
whatever.
Because she says, my plan worked. And he goes, I'm going to capture Kenobi, and I'm going to get all the
credit for it.
Yeah, Vader will be very happy with me.
My plan.
Again, no one thinking. This guy took down a prime Anakin Skywalker. And all but killed him. I argue the only reason Anakin survives is because Palpatine siphons life from Padme.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, he actually did take out a life force from Anakin.
Yeah.
Like,
and this guy's
just
like,
gonna go. You're scared of Vader. This guy basically killed him. What do you think about what you're saying?
Exactly.
Well, but here's the thing: they don't, or well, they do. They shouldn't know he's Darth Vader. They should not know Anakin's Darth Vader.
Yeah,
I actually agree
that's
with
not
you.
common knowledge.
That's a good
That's
point.
not common knowledge.
She says it like it's just like everyone knows this. Of course, everyone knows.
Yeah, that's whereas
Weird.
that's not common knowledge.
Unless the
Again,
Emperor
that was
sort of-
one of the things that the scene overall was that good that I'm like, look, that was a fuck
scene
up
was
and that's
great.
dumb.
Well, I
But
wonder-
the scene's so good, I forgive it.
That's the thing, because the Empire knows him as Darth Vader.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's certainly possible that, as like a propaganda ploy in this period, the story has been that Anakin, one of the greatest Jedi, turned on the Jedi when he realized they were gonna.
I don't think they make. I don't
It's-
think they
but
go
no,
into the
I-
minutiae.
I
Yeah,
agree with
it's-
you.
I
I'm
think
I'm trying to square the circle because
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
Star Wars. And
It's
I'm
a-
pretty sure
it's a
it's not
blemish.
supposed to be. I'm pretty sure that's a blemish. That just feels like.
Yeah, I'm with you. It
I
doesn't
get
make
why they
sense.
did because she has to have that moment of dialogue of like, oh, you didn't know,
Yeah.
because that adds to it.
Yeah.
Like that dialogue can't
It's
happen
really
of like, oh,
It's really important.
it's really important. Yeah, it.
And
I don't know
finally, we
how.
will get
Like,
to have
I
that
can't
scene.
imagine Darth Vader's like opening up his feelings to his inquisitors.
Right.
You
his
know what I
underlings
mean?
who he's gonna
He's not
threaten
like,
to kill.
there's just no one to talk to up here in this tank.
Right. But really importantly, we are going to get the scene where Obi-Wan fights. He'll have to meet Darth Vader
gonna be
because
great.
how else? If he's only just learnt that Anakin's alive, how is he going to know that he's more machine than man?
Yeah.
We need that scene.
We know
Oh
that-
no,
I mean, he
but
would
also
figure it
like,
out,
and
but-
also, Darth also says Obi-Wan once thought as you did. Like he obviously had that moment, and they said in the recap they showed. Natalie Portman say there's good in him, there's good in him. I'm pretty sure in the dream as well. Like he's gonna go. To me, this is like the setup was. All these 2 episodes was how do you get him to find out that Darth Vader's alive, Anakin's alive? Well, you need to get him off planet. How do you get him off planet? Well, the only way it leaves is Leia. So we bring Leia into it. That's why this happened. The point of the show, to me, needs to be from this point on is he goes to find Anakin because he thinks he can turn him. He thinks he failed. This is his opportunity to save his best friend. All he's got left that he still loves and thinks is in there. But this is how he finds out that no, he's more machine now. The man twisted and evil.
He
The
needs
good
to
man,
be full villain.
the good man that was your father was destroyed.
Yeah.
You know,
The
so
moment
what I
this
told you was
happens.
true from a certain point of view. Like that's got to be there. But there also needs to be not just a fight. There needs to be dialogue between Darth and
Absolutely.
Obi-Wan.
I'm also keen to see that the old way of fighting for Anakin is gone. And it's more that single-handed brute force thing, which will also.
I'd
slow
love a bit
things
of
down
a
for the
hybrid
new-
of both.
Yeah, I think we could do with that. And I just Vader needs to be a villain. He needs to be evil-ish at this point, so that Obi-Wan has that line of more machine than man, evil, all the good is gone. Because then otherwise we don't get the redemption arc at the end.
I wonder what he'll do.
He's got to kill kids or something.
He's got to do something.
Well, he's already
in
done
this.
it, right? So we know Anakin is capable of real evil.
He has to do something in this show that would right in front of him.
I think he's got to kill. I think he's got to kill like the Reva or an
I think
inquisitor
Reva.
or something.
What will end up happening? This is what will happen: is Reva and Obi-Wan will talk, and Obi-Wan will say, "No, that's not what happened. This is what happened." Reva will turn, and Vader will kill her.
Do we know how Leia's parents die?
They're exploded.
Yeah.
Are they on the planet? Yeah.
They're on Alderaan, yeah.
I was going to say, wouldn't
wouldn't
it be?
Oh shit! If he kills the Organas.
Leia's father in front of her, like he goes to see Obi-Wan, and then that's when they meet. And
that's not what.
I don't know if that could happen.
That's hardcore.
No, he's alive in A New Hope. Leia references.
Yeah.
All right.
My father will hear of this. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, he's still alive.
Then I don't know where I thought that could be a huge moment.
I suspect it will be that Reva will find out the actual truth of Order 66. Turn to the good side, the light side, I should say, and Vader will kill her.
Perhaps.
And then we go, okay.
I hope so.
Well, she's going to die anyway for all the insubordination she's got, so... She's
at least tying up loose ends.
She is.
Which I respect.
And maybe Vader will just be like, do you know what? You did a good
On that point, we are still talking about this episode.
We are, yeah. Let's knock this one out because we're near the end. So, Leia and Obi-Wan, they go into an alleyway, sort of in between where they need to go, the spaceport on the other side of town, and a bounty hunter pops out, and Obi-Wan immediately knocks him the fuck out, and he's like, who was that? He's a bounty hunter. They drag him off to the side, and later on, he's trying to take the wristband thingy with the hologram of his face off.
They have a couple of tender moments here. And it's quite cool.
They do. It's actually good.
Yeah.
And she's like, "How do I know you're a Jedi? Make me float." She's saying and stuff like that. And he's like, "I'm not going to do that. Like just out of nowhere. That's not how Jedis work. Our powers can't be flicked on and off."
I know it's Leia, but also like you're a 10-year-old on a foreign planet. You've been kidnapped.
Yeah.
This guy's like trying to save you. Like maybe we don't do the mischievous thing right now.
Yeah. Calm down. Anyway, but she sees what he's trying to do, and it's the hologram of his face. It's like, wait a minute, that's you. Why is your face on there? It's like, no, it's okay. You can't leave me out. You're in danger. It's like, I don't trust you. And she immediately runs off into a market.
Sense. I hate the I'm leaving, I don't trust you, but this actually makes sense. She's seeing a bounty that only goes on bad people.
Bad people, right? That's what I've been taught.
Right.
Anyway, she goes off into the market, runs in between. She's small, so she can get between stuff and lose Obi-Wan. She goes up a ladder. Obi-Wan's chasing
Classic 10-year-old decision. I need to flee. I'll flee on rooftops.
Exactly. He doesn't really care about his identity or even hiding at that point because he's really worried, obviously, about Leia.
The whole planet's looking for him. They know he's here. Yeah.
Exactly. And eventually, he goes up there as well. They're jumping off of rooftops. He's just like, Leia, stop, Leia,
he's
stop.
Like,
he's like, Leia, stop, Leia. They're jumping on rooftops. Luckily, they're big enough for this 5-year-old, 10-year-old, however old she is, 10-year-old, sorry, to make it because they're really small.
Yeah.
And then she gets eventually to the end where there's a big gap. Obi-Wan gets pinned down by 2 of these bounty hunters that happen to be on the roof as well. He's completely pinned. He can't do anything. He's shouting again, Leia, don't jump.
The laser bolt fire.
Exactly. Reva, the Inquisitor, sees that on the other rooftop. I don't know why she's on the rooftop anyway. She thinks she's Batman or something like that.
Right. She's not a billionaire, although she seems to have his resources.
Exactly. She does her parkour thing. She jumps off. It doesn't get her anywhere, but she's jumping.
She does that like cross fall, like as if she's from Assassin's Creed.
Right. She's doing the leap of faith.
It's so weird.
Assassin's Creed is the blueprint. That's what it is.
Individually, it's kind of cool, but like then it blends into this weird parkour thing and like getting down from that roof at the end where she's like
it's a dumb thing as well when you think about it even more because she's parkouring, she's trying to get down from the roof. They are on the rooftop. Why are you getting down? None of this makes sense.
Also, if she needs to get down, she can just drop.
Exactly.
We know that there's
forced
something
to the
Jedi
bottom,
can
done.
do. Yeah.
Anyway, the main part, though, is them being pinned down. Leia doesn't want to go back, doesn't obviously want to go to the laser bolt firing, and doesn't want to go to Obi-Wan because she doesn't trust him. Tries to make the jump, doesn't make it, obviously, but lands on one of the cables. Holding with one hand, Obi-Wan runs over, doesn't care about the laser bolts, and it's like, Leia, hold on. And she slips. But he immediately, out of instinct, puts his hand out.
It's not immediate, though, is it?
Well, he's putting his...
No.
I feel like it was.
No,
there might have been a bit of a delay.
It was a slow motion, but it felt like there was like he was like, I got it. Like it felt like it took a couple seconds.
Yeah, it felt like it was very rusty.
You mean until it reacted?
Until he actually forced.
Yeah, okay. He puts his hand out, but it doesn't work. It's like you see him like struggling and whatnot.
Yeah,
I have these in my notes. It feels like we're doing that closed off to the Force bullshit. And I really don't like this trope of closed off to the Force. Maybe I'm just jaded from the Force frickin'
I think it's more just he doesn't have
Last
belief
Jedi.
in himself after the 10 years of blaming himself for everything that's happened. Like, he
It's just
wasn't
out of
strong
practice.
enough.
You don't do something for 10 years. It just takes you a second to rub the dust off.
Yeah, I
Perhaps,
guess.
perhaps.
It's just
Anyway,
ring rust.
he puts his hand out and he's just like...
I think it's just ring rust. I'm not going to go close off to the Force. I'm saying it's ring rust.
Okay,
That's
cool.
all I'm
All right,
saying
cool.
it is.
Okay,
I'm
fair.
headcanoning that. Yeah.
Cool. I now don't mind this scene. Okay.
He's thinking, he's like
Just
trying...
a quick bit of rust. Just a quick.
Yeah,
that's how I
rust.
felt. I was like,
oh,
wow,
yeah,
just a
that's
quick
right.
bit of
It's just
rust.
riding a bicycle. It's the first thing is a bit wobbly. Oh yeah, that's right. This is really easy. Yeah,
I
cool,
got
I'll do
it now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been 10 years and he hasn't used it. And they've established that he
Yeah.
hasn't used it.
Fair,
That's how I
fair,
saw it. I was
fair.
like, they never mentioned he's closer to the Force. They're just establishing he hasn't been using the Force or a
Fair.
lightsaber in a while.
He does stop
Like,
her
that's
from falling,
all
though.
they've spent the show. Yeah, but he saves her.
Yeah,
Because
cool.
it doesn't take that long that he's closed off, right?
Yeah.
Like, he does do it within a couple of seconds.
He does do it just before she hits the ground, slowly puts her down to the ground, and it's like, oh, thank God. And it's awesome. He's using the Force.
Yeah.
It's Obi-Wan again. Hopefully that means the return of Obi-Wan. And then a second later, he's on the ground as well. Just around the corner.
In my head canon for this, he didn't take the stairs. He just hopped off, but over the other side.
Exactly. Something like that, because he's there in a second later.
Because otherwise, she's not just going to wait there on the floor like, oh man, I'll just wait for him to come down the stairs. Oh, there he is. I'll get up.
Okay, now get up.
Yeah.
He's there, and then that Hajar guy, what's his name? Cole.
What?
The guy from Eternals that got
Hajar.
shredded.
Oh,
His name is Hajar in the show. We'll say Hajar anyway.
Kamal.
That's
Kamal.
it. Kamal spots them in that alley and says, "Okay, you guys need a way out. I've got an exit for you because all the other exits are blocked off. You guys go this way to the droid shipyard. Was it the automated shipyard? And you guys can get off that way. There's no people there. You can just get by. It'll be fine." And he gets out of there. Oh, and I think in the next bit he talks about how she is a little someone
they go in
Yeah,
and she starts saying something, I forget what, and Obi-Wan says, you remind me a lot of somebody I used to know. He starts talking about Padme, and it is so cute.
Yeah.
And not
Yeah.
maybe cute's not the
But-
right word, but it's cute because she's cute, but like it's
Yeah.
so touching. And she's
Cute,
like, oh, what was she like? Was she a fighter? Because she was a leader.
Mm.
And I was just like, it was one of those moments because who does Leia become? The only successor to Padme.
Yeah.
You know, like she's so good. And the way he says, like, what else can be cool? Like, it's not fighter. It's the other thing. It's a leader of people.
Yeah.
Oh, it was
Yeah.
so good.
I loved that scene, that moment between where it's like, oh my God, this is Obi Wan Kenobi with his friends, two best friends, child.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who's 10 years old, and this is the first moment in 10 years he's felt connected to his past as well. Do you know how important that is for Obi-Wan to have that moment where he literally had to stop and go, you just remind me of someone. Oh my God, you're like Padme. I'm with her. And when he says, and there's also the double meaning when like Leia's like, how do I know you're a Jedi? I don't trust you.
Yeah.
He literally says in that argument, Obi-Wan goes, I'm an old friend of your father's, and I'm like, that's a double meaning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
I wonder. I think I asked myself the question. I'm like, I wonder who in his own head he means when he says that.
Yeah.
Like in his head when he says, "I'm an old friend of your father's." In his head, is he saying that as Bales? Maybe it's just that. But I'm like, it could also
probably
be.
Anakin. I personally, I
Um,
thought Anakin, or maybe he's saying your father's. I'm a friend
Yeah.
of
Oh,
your
yeah.
father's.
True, plural. Yeah.
Come,
There's
two,
many
she's two
meanings.
dads.
Yeah, there's very
there's
many
two
meanings.
dads. It's there's a lot there, and I just loved that, like you said, that moment, that connection to Padme, and giving her a bit of a shout out too. She's a bit of a forgotten one.
Padme's awesome.
In terms of
Yeah.
she's great. Natalie Portman's great.
Yeah.
Great like little moment, and
also it
again, I just
sets
loved the sass and the cleverness.
She's very
and how
sassy,
smart.
right? And very channeling Padme all the way. And
Proper.
the other thing is that, like, everybody
And
thinks
Leia, channeling Leia.
Well, yeah, channeling adult Leia. Everybody thinks of it as like Star Wars. You grow up to be Luke Skywalker. Everybody wants to be Luke Skywalker, and Leia doesn't get to be that. And in like the sequels, we know that like, oh, she was trained, but then didn't do it. Like, why would you not do that? What could possibly be more awesome, more important? Yeah, she was a leader.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I really love.
It's great. They're adding a lot of importance to Leia. A lot more importance to Leia. Yeah. So they head off. Reva then goes into that alleyway and sees Hajar, and he plays the old like, I'm a Jedi.
Parkours all the way down.
Yeah, parkours
for
all the
no
way down.
reason. Yeah.
I'm a Jedi, and
I did love this one. What's my bounty up to? 1 million.
Yeah,
Two.
two. And she just doesn't take no shit. It's like, you're not a Jedi, and pushes him up against the wall, and gets the information that she needs to get out of him.
We can all do this technique now.
Exactly, and knows that they've gone to the cargo yard up there. They get into the cargo yard. They realize what they need to do, where they need to go. Does Leia run off at this point?
No, so they hear something behind them. This sort of happens simultaneously.
Yeah.
They hear something behind them. Obi-Wan realizes what's going on, that they've been found, gives her the thing and says, if I don't make it, just go.
Just go.
So Leia runs off to the ship and is sort of waiting there for Obi-Wan, or to see, before she hits the button, she's waiting to see what happens. And that's where, is it Reva or Reza?
Reva. I think it's Reva.
Reva.
Reva. That's where Reva comes in, and Obi-Wan hides.
Yeah.
Which I don't mind either. Like we've said, we're headcanoning the ring rust.
He hasn't worked it off yet.
Right.
Like he's just old, and he works a hard job on a planet with 2 suns. Yeah. Like he's probably a bit stiff in the bones as well. You know what I mean? Like
he's probably not been doing his daily Jedi yoga.
Not a great diet either, and not a great
It's
diet to give him a lot of energy.
It's just raw desert meat. You know?
Yeah, he would literally be running off muscle memory, and he doesn't have a lot of muscle left.
Right.
Like that's what. Yeah, that's all we're saying. He's not close. It's like Cal Kestis in the Fallen Order. Like he just doesn't do it because you don't use the Force. You know what I mean? Because you'll die.
I hate it. But I would actually appreciate seeing him just in the background, just walk past somewhere with his crew.
Yeah.
If we're gonna say that is like canon, as in a thing that actually happens in this universe, I wouldn't mind seeing him,
Just
or at least
get
the
him sticking
ship
in there.
somewhere. So
The problem is they're never going to recognize the games in movies and stuff like that. They're never going to do that. They're just going to keep separate. Anyway, yeah, she senses that Obi-Wan is there. She goes off monologuing, like talking about how like there's no chance. It's like, I'm going to get you. I'm going to take you to him. It's like, take you to him, and then drops that. Yeah. Anakin's still alive.
I think she says, I'm going to take you to him. Vader will be pleased.
Yeah.
And then
Lord
Vader will be pleased.
And she can sense that, like, the confusion.
Know, yeah.
And he's like, you didn't know.
The look on his face.
Anakin,
on his face.
Anakin lived. And it's like, what?
Yeah.
And you feel what
again,
he felt.
She should
not
know that, but yeah.
Again, definitely shouldn't know that.
Let's ignore that. She does know it. She
does
says
know it
it
because we need that reveal, and the reveal is so good. She starts like ripping things out with the
pulling
Force,
the cargo ships, cargo containers
What
like,
did you
around
think?
him.
Can I ask you a question on what your feelings were with Ewan's reaction, or sorry, Obi-Wan's reaction? Because I want to talk in character. I got the vibe, and I had goosebumps again at this moment because obviously it's very emotional. Oh my god, moment! I can't believe it. Like sadness, and do you know what emotion I saw when I first watched it?
Go on.
Fear.
I thought
my vibe was like he looks so terrified because I think it's like this is my biggest fuck up. If Vader's alive, Anakin's alive, how powerful he must be after 10 years that I've left him unchallenged.
I need to rewatch
holy
that.
fuck! And now,
I thought
and also
guilty.
the fact that the children, he's like, I'm looking after his 2 children. They're even more danger if Anakin's alive. Like, so I got the vibe. Yes, he's sad. Yes, he's like guilty. But I also got this vibe like he looks so afraid. So I think like he's like in the sense of I fucked up.
I think
I fucked up so bad.
A bit of failure and blindsidedness as well, because he must be feeling like, okay, I killed Anakin. I thought I killed Anakin, but I thought at least I ended everything. At least like my failure was limited to that, and his failure has now been extended because he's been able to make these inquisitors. He's been able to get more Jedi killed, all because actually I didn't kill him. And if I had killed him like I thought I did, then maybe some of the Jedis that did get away would have survived and whatnot.
And
so
I've spent 10 years
moment.
blaming the Emperor.
Yeah.
I've spent 10 years blaming the Emperor. The Emperor killed Anakin, and he's also been created these inquisitors to kill all the other Jedi around the galaxy. It's the Emperor's fault. But now he's like, oh my god, the Inquisitors that have been going around hunting these Jedi, they're not the Emperors.
Yeah,
they're
I need to
Vaders.
rewatch the scene because what I took from it was that was guilt and failure, where it's like I didn't kill him, and it's that, oh my god, I left Anakin to burn.
That's a good one as well.
I left him, and if I had taken him when he was defeated,
perhaps
he might not be Darth Vader. I might have said that's what I took in that scene.
That's what's gonna eat. I bet that's something that's gonna eat him up in the next episode.
That's what I thought he was seeing. Either way, it's a mix of. It's all of these.
Yeah.
What a fucking good show! Oh my god, Kenobi is so good. Obi Wan is
literally
so
started and he's like, I hated it. And I'm like,
I'm not.
yeah, no.
I
knew I'd convince you. I'm like, I'll give you there was definitely logic jumps all over this fucking show, but overall, it just had the moments that you wanted to see, and the moments that you've wanted to see hit and delivered in everywhere they needed to hit and deliver.
For me though, like it's only these last 5 minutes that really have saved the first 2 episodes. I was worried about the
best part
closed off from the Force, and it's so good. And then up to this point, until this monologue, I hate Reva. She's just useless. She has in my opinion, has no presence. Is petulant and childish. You know how everybody complained about Kylo Ren?
Yeah.
Where they didn't understand him. Kylo's been perfect since we've seen him on screen. He's incredible. And
I think he's perfect.
And he's also the Anakin we should have had. And
in some ways, yes.
In a lot of ways, and I really feel bad for Hayden because he got such a shitty Anakin to play. It's such a poorly written Anakin, and I'm really looking forward for him to get to actually be the incredible actor
I'm so happy
he is
for Hayden.
with this role, because this is such a good role, and he's so good, and his Anakin was so shit, and it's not him, it's the writing.
Him getting the resurgence that he has now is almost like the world righting a big wrong.
I really hope
we've all just come along, like, we did something bad here, we need to fix this, and we've all agreed.
And we want to give you all the love to make up for it. It's like, we love you, Hayden, you're the best, we're so happy you are Anakin,
so
you are Darth Vader.
He is Anakin, and he is Darth Vader, and I cannot wait for him to actually get to finally play Darth Vader. And I also hope that we get...
Or even just seeing him in the tube and knowing, like, that's Hayden! It's fucking Hayden!
And I also am interested to see... what I was saying about Vader needing to be evil is I think we need to sort of, like, kill off that good bit for him now.
He looked evil.
He does look evil.
This has to be
and I want there to be that little bit of Anakin left that he crushes now. And that's where he's, like, evil.
The same way Kylo Ren kills... Han.
Right, exactly. It's to kill.
You know what I mean? It's like, I'm already evil, but this last bit I'm holding on to. But the truth that obviously the last bit he was holding on to was Leia.
Exactly.
And the same way the last bit that Anakin's holding on to is actually his children. Wasn't Obi? He does kill his love for Obi-Wan. He does kill at some point because he does kill Obi-Wan. He lands the killing blow. He obviously wanted to do it.
And that's sort of my beef with Reva is compared to the other Inquisitors, I don't feel like she has very much presence. And she's just kind of whiny and petulant and childish and having tantrums, and not in the way because Kylo makes sense. This is just they're just doing it.
Yeah.
But then in this, where she's like stalking Obi-Wan because she has this personal beef with him, and realizes that there's this cut, and she starts pouring salt in the wound, and is actually being villainous, and then the other Inquisitor, the Inquisitor General, whatever, arrives. Grand Inquisitor. Yeah. And he says, like, you're not doing this, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to take him in. And she freaking does him in.
Yeah,
she ties up the loose end. And what's she going to say? Obi-Wan killed him.
Oh, terrible.
In the animated shows, the Grand Inquisitor is not die here. So
does he not? Oh, people are going to be mad about that.
Well, as we know, the animated shows aren't canon.
Anything animated.
Really. Well, they don't matter.
Anything animated
there was people trying to say... So Obi-Wan had like a bit of a love interest, Satine or some fucking who cares character in like Clone Wars. People were trying to say on Twitter that's what he was referencing when he was like, she was a leader to Leia. I'm like,
no, it's Padme.
You're a fucking idiot.
You're an idiot.
Guess moron. You think they're referring to the character that no one knows?
Yeah,
20% of people watching the show know who she is. Fuck off.
That's so stupid.
Clone Wars doesn't count. I'm so glad I'm with people that know that animations and cartoons don't count. They're not real.
Everything animated is nonsense.
I've spent 4 years making content with this guy. And that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. That's so stupid.
All right, let's quickly wrap up.
Are you talking about me or are you talking about Eddie?
I'm talking about Eddie.
Let's wrap up this episode. So she right as she's like pulling parts of those cargo bits that's around him off, the Grand Inquisitor comes in and goes like to take over. So I'm gonna take Obi-Wan, and while he's not looking, she pulls out her lightsaber, stabs him straight in the gut, kills him right there. Bada bing, bada boom. And that moment. Obi-Wan takes the opportunity to escape, gets in the ship with Leia. They fly off, and she does quite a decent pose, I have to say. Very almost like Darth Vader-esque, where she gets her lightsaber and points it out. It's like, you haven't heard the end of this, and I'm just like.
Also, all Obi Wan.
She doesn't even try to use the Force to stop the shit.
Yeah, like pull it down,
well.
but only Palpatines could do that. Sorry, my bad. Skywalkers could do that.
In fairness, it's for children, and we're making a lot of leaps. And Reva's a very bizarrely written character who, up until these last 2 minutes,
I'll let it go. I'm just saying there's plenty of logic leaps throughout this show, and I acknowledge them.
Right.
I just don't.
Well, also, she makes it to the ship. She could just slice one of the engines.
Something, right? Throw her lightsaber, wherever it is. Anyway, they escape. She's pissed off, and then
Can we now
that's
talk
the end
about
of
one of the best cinematic scenes I've ever viewed?
And
yes, we can.
And then we cut to the very final scene where we just see eyes in a tank.
That close up. Well, I'm talking about.
In the ship.
Yeah.
Cut to the ship. You see
ship.
Obi-Wan's reflection,
That's
and
true.
then we do a pan to Obi-Wan's face, and his eyes just look so like in shock, complete shock.
Buckets. Anakin.
Like he's seen a ghost.
Also,
and then you zoom in, and there's
how
the
much
music.
does this sound like the ghost of Qui-Gon Jinn? Anakin.
Yeah.
You know,
Made it sound
when we
that,
hear
right?
that in the
Yeah.
And then we see that
This is
final
Anakin.
scene where like
And then the big
I'm getting
bass
chills.
hit the big.
I
And
got
I'm like,
goosebumps.
fucking
goosebumps.
God, that's Hayden, and he looks terrifying
ominous.
as fuck.
He looks so ominous, and he's in the tank. He's suspended.
Yeah.
His injuries are present. I mean,
Dude,
buckets.
Yes, it was fantastic.
I cannot wait to see him as Vader.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Yeah, and that's the end of
I'm such a
end of
Vader
episode
fan as
2
well.
right there, and that's where we have. That's all the content
that's
we
the
have.
thing Sheps and I relate on the most, I think, with Star Wars as fans. Like, we're such Vader Anakin nut huggers.
all up on that junk. All up on it.
Yeah, 100%.
I love
just
Vader so
love
much.
it.
And that's also
Yeah,
like
by
at the
one of my
beginning
favorite
this,
characters of anything.
he's just one of my favorites, full stop. And I do, when I just said it at the beginning, I genuinely think if you're going to show someone Star Wars and you start A New Hope, you start with those last few minutes of Rogue One, where that's why you're afraid of Vader. That's who that man that comes walking in. That's why he just talks to people and they just do what he says.
Yeah.
Because everybody knows that. We sort of figure it out, but man, God, I fucking love Vader so much. I cannot wait.
Yeah.
I cannot wait.
Yeah. We have to see him now. I think he's got to be a character starting now for the rest of the show. Not
I
just
agree.
here for 5 minutes, here for 1 minute,
yeah.
and then he's in the main bit of the last
We need to
episode.
follow
No,
Vader
he's now a
hunting
character
Kenobi.
in the show.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. He's now a part of the Inquisitor storyline.
thing
I
is-
fully agree.
The thing is that
Imagine
the
going to
parts-
that guy and telling peak Vader and telling him you failed
while
to get the guy that nearly killed him. Oh my God.
the story isn't about Vader in Rogue One, but the way that they showed Vader in Rogue One I thought was quite cool. Like every now and
That
again
reveal in the darkness, and it feels like the darkness gets
but
darker.
that's the end bit. But the other times, where like what's that guy's
yeah.
name? The
Yeah.
fantastic actor who comes to like give him information.
Krennic.
That's it, Krennic.
Yeah,
And he's
Director Krennic.
trembling every time he talks to him, and the way that he pops out and the very little that he says was very cool. They might go that route with this, which I think is equally cool, but I do also want to see more of Vader because this is such a perfect time.
Vader's one of those characters who's so good. Like he commands. Is one of those guys. If you have to tell someone you're in charge or not in charge, Vader doesn't ever have to speak. You know, that's the guy.
Do you feel you're being treated unfairly?
Right.
No, I'm fine.
Well, I just think you're talking about, you see with Director Krennic, you're talking about Darth Vader in a political situation for the Emperor. Like, when he's with his Inquisitors in private, he's going to beat the fuck out of them.
Yeah.
Like, he chopped some of their hands off in the comics
Yeah.
because they were just shit at training. So he'll
What's
just
that
fucking
one line
punish
from
them
the
by, like, chopping
comics?
off their hands.
Like you're surrounded. All I'm surrounded by is fear and dead men or something. Like, oh, jizz.
Yeah.
Buckets.
Yeah.
All right, let's kick it over to some of our bros who've written on patreon.com/conversation. Well, if you want, I mean, I've got one guy here who's Australian, and I wanted you to read out his comment if you wanted to.
Yeah, you can put the accent back on because we know that you
put the
fake
accent
it
back on
for the cameras.
But I'll read Corporal Dingleberry's one first of all. Corporal Dingleberry
Isn't
writes
he
in.
Australian?
Sorry?
Isn't Corporal Dingleberry Australian?
I don't know if he is, but I'm reading another one.
Oh, okay.
There we go. He says, in the words of Tyler, so he didn't even know you were being here, but apparently Tyler.
Do the accent.
He goes, this show fucks hard. That's what he
Fucks
says.
hard.
It goes, this was incredibly fun to watch, and it takes itself really, really serious, which I'm really, really relieved for. Because prior... You're back, yeah? Oh, we just made a joke about you.
I went and got a drink.
Okay.
Yeah. Did you?
Yeah, we did.
Probably wasn't funny because you're not funny.
No, it was your content.
It was Corporal Dingleberry making fun of your content. That's what it was.
No, it wasn't.
Anyway, because prior to being released, I was really concerned that it would be Disney-fied and they'd be making jokes left, right, and center. But this is an incredibly serious tone show, which makes me so happy. Ewan McGregor crushing it. He didn't say a single word for the first 10 minutes that he was on screen of screen time. And yet we know exactly what he was feeling and thinking. Yeah. I've seen a lot of criticism of Reva, but personally, I love her. I adore the Inquisitors as a whole. They're really intimidating. They're a really intimidating threat, and they bring a real presence to the whole on-screen. Seeing Leia as a kid is something I never expected, either from the reason I'm really enjoying it, for whatever reason I'm really enjoying it. I genuinely... Sorry, this is really small. I'm going to make this bigger. Here we go. Where my reading presence is feeling Leia on screen things by Major. I genuinely almost got a bit teary-eyed in the 3/4 through the first episode. Then I was realizing just how right they got this show. I can't think of a single criticism I have as of yet. I'm really, really impressed by this, and I'm crazy excited for the upcoming episodes. Very much hoping it stays this quality. Well, I hope we didn't ruin it too much with all of Sheps' criticisms right at the beginning.
Reva's still shit, except for those last 2 minutes. Seriously, she's not good. But those last 2 minutes...
But everything else is good in the show. It's just Reva, I think, that's not good at this point.
Bro, do you know what? Yeah, actually, I think, yeah, you're right.
I don't know if
weird leaps.
That's how I feel.
They make some serious freaking leaps, but okay, yeah.
But they're mostly involving Reva as well, so I'm like...
True.
That's part of why I don't like Reva. It's not that I don't like the actor or the way she's performing. I do agree. There's not a lot of presence there until the last end of the second episode, which I liked.
Mate, at the end of the second episode, I'm like, why didn't
most
we
of the
have
logic
this?
jumps involve her character.
Yeah, that's true.
Gam's True Gamer Master wrote in and he said, "G'day bros, hope you're all well. We're finally here, boys. So freaking keen. Let's go." I'm just going to leave it in dot points to be brief, no problem. Part 1, he says, great recap of the prequels. Order 66 need to see more of Anakin's perspective. That would have been cool, but don't worry, we're going to get there. We're going to get there, I'm sure. I'm sure we'll get flashbacks and stuff. Obi-Wan's life post-Order 66 is just mundane and is to be expected. The Inquisitors look menacing as hell, and I'm here for it. But as soon as one of them helicopter fly, I'm going to flip my shit. Do they turn into a helicopter? Is that something the Inquisitors do?
No, he has the...
you see the lightsaber and it spins, yeah.
Can it make him fly? I don't know.
No, it's not like... He's not Thor.
I was going to say, what's going on here? Anyway,
no, Eddie.
Great to see Alderaan. You mean Naboo? Oh, you must have got that wrong right there. Don't worry about it. Leia chase scene looked goofy. Leia's chase scene looked goofy, it did. Obi-Wan killed that fellow Jedi. I don't care what anyone says. Jedi flees the town because of the Inquisitors, and Kenobi sends him right back, refusing to help. Obi-Wan softening up and helping find Leia was nice, realizing finding her is more important than his own safety. Grand Inquisitor looks a little goofy. The third sister really needs to pull her head in. Okay, part 2. Welcome to Not Nashada. Is Nashada a place?
That might be the planet.
Maybe a planet, something like that. For a Jedi not wanting to be found, Kenobi is dressed in robes and doing a poor job. That's a solid point.
Yeah, he does kind of have the Jedi robes on, doesn't
You
he?
look like not a Jedi. That's what you look like right there. Really, Disney? Really using an Indian scammer? Oh, shit, I didn't put that two together.
You know, when you say it like that.
Yeah, I didn't put that together.
Although he was actually doing the job.
Yeah,
he was getting people out. He wasn't like...
He said, I'm just making the poorer.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing.
And at the end, it turns out he is a good guy. He's not.
Fake Microsoft. Oh, sorry, Jedi scam. Kind of funny, though, he says. Good old vengeance Kenobi kicking the meth chief's ass. Never thought I'd see people get high in Star Wars. That's a good point. We've never seen drugs in there. We saw death sticks, but no one went near those bastards.
That's true.
You don't want to sell me death sticks.
No death sticks. No death sticks. You're going to rethink your life. That's what you're going to do. Leia was kind of cool in part 1, but now I just want to punt her over a fence. Annoying as fuck, he says.
You didn't like her?
Well,
what?
I think the
That's what I'm saying. I knew people wouldn't like it. I knew
Yeah.
there'd be fucking weird cunts.
I can
That'll
understand.
like.
Like I can understand it because you're here for like Obi-Wan,
yeah.
but all those tie-ins.
Do you think it's an age thing?
He does
like the older you get as a guy, I feel like you get a bit more sensitive. Especially Eddie, you have a daughter. Like I feel like we just find that cute.
Yeah, maybe.
But I reckon maybe at 18, I wouldn't think I would be like that's annoying. I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe.
I could see that.
He does. I read
if
it
I
as-
was like 15 and I'm watching this, maybe I'm like, ugh, it's just like it's like my little sister. Like that's
Right,
what
it's
people
always you getting stuck
sort of
with
look
your
at
little cousin to babysit. And she's running off
Yeah.
and doing stuff like,
Yeah.
I read that as annoying as fuck, but what he did say was women are annoying as fuck. That's the reason why he hates Leia.
well, now
of
we
course,
are all in
I
agreement,
see.
of course.
Now
Yeah.
we get it. Now we get it.
I mean, look, I don't know what the cycle of moons is on this planet, but it might be Reva's time.
It might be.
We don't know, but she
Oh
seems very.
my god!
This is terrible. Oh god.
You know what? You can't
Oh,
get
shit.
cancelled if you cancel yourself.
Yes.
You know?
It's true.
Yeah.
If
So
you can't cancel if no one listens.
And I'm
but
protected
that's,
on multiple fronts.
and then he says
Yeah.
Inquisitor parkour, and he puts loads of exclamation marks. So I'm guessing he really liked that. Kenobi just can't hit a single goddamn shot, can he? Yeah, when he's shooting, he
Trained by
doesn't shoot.
stormtroopers.
Exactly.
That's how we learn to shoot in the Clone Wars.
Exactly. So
Well,
uncivilized. He says.
I'm just glad they're being they're being balanced in the sense of if stormtroopers can't shoot, I don't want anyone else to be able to be able to shoot too.
I
Out of
actually
respect-
kind of agree
Out
with
of
you.
respect,
Like,
I won't shoot them as well.
Stormtroopers obviously must be able to hit stuff, or they're not like a
Why do we employ
Right.
these things?
right. But I think they it's accuracy by volume in it. Just
yeah.
shoot enough things that you hit.
One
the
of them
thing.
hit. There you
Right.
go. So much parkour. He says Kenobi reconnecting to the Force is so awesome. Reva revealing Vader is alive and how it shakes Obi-Wan to his core is awesome. I can't believe they killed the Grand Inquisitor, though he was alive longer in Rebels. Must be getting my timelines mixed up. And the last bit he says Vader, 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 Vader. And that's the end of this thing right there. Yeah.
Buckets.
Overall, though, great start to the show. Can't wait to see where we go from here. Lovely jubbly, and that's all of our. Oh wait, Gerald Tucker did write in. He goes, "How many Easter eggs did you spot? Like, Flea from RHCP."
Don't know what that means. Oh, Red Hot Chili Peppers. Yeah. I see what you mean. Yeah, so Flea is the I think is the bassist for the Red Hot Chili Peppers, but he was the main gang guy.
Oh,
That's
okay.
Flea, yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah,
There we
he's
go.
in actually a few things, and he has these small roles. But
That's
he's not a terrible actor, so I don't know why that is. It's not like the Red Hot Chili Peppers are doing much these days.
Exactly. All right,
I
that's
actually
all of
don't
our
know.
comments on Patreon. Thank you guys so much for supporting us over there. You're legends. You're legends right there.
But that's
Thank
not
God.
that's not it,
Unf-
Tyler.
Unfortunately for Tyler,
We're over to our Discord because we have a Discord.
I can't
we have a Discord.
wait until yours blows up too. I can't wait till your live.
It is a
span ends
matter
and
of
there's
time.
no more
almost
Discords.
certainly,
It's
yeah.
time bomb. That's what it is.
It's not an if. It's a when.
It's a when.
And that we do know, and we know that. That's well documented.
Goddamn. Okay. Black screen, bro. How much black screen are we going to have for this?
Probably a good 45 minutes. in this one, yeah.
Good. Black screen, bro 3, 56, says, oh, great. Welcome to his streamcast review of Kenobi live as he watches it.
Yeah.
Oh,
he
wait.
does
Not
this.
this week. I got lucky for once.
Oh,
because he's stuck
here
in
we
a car
go.
all day. So these 2 episodes were great. Ewan McGregor is spectacular as Obi-Wan. Seriously, I want to take another moment for everybody to stop, pause the video, and just think about how freaking good
Amazing.
is.
We live in this
Amazing.
timeline. Can you imagine? So great.
We had to have COVID, but we also got.
We also got this.
And so far, all the characters.
Balances out.
Huh? Yeah, it does exactly. And
It
Hayden
balances
back
out.
as Darth Vader.
Can we just also can we talk about like yesterday was maybe the best day of my life when it comes to movies and entertainment. I got to see 2 episodes of Obi-Wan and then I went to the movies and watched Top Gun Maverick.
How
Ooh,
how did you find that?
Top Gun. It's the best action movie I've ever seen in my
Okay,
entire life.
good.
It was 10 out of 10. It was fucking outrageously
Oh.
good. It was better than Obi-Wan. It was better than Obi-Wan.
Oh,
Like,
that good. Okay.
wait.
I'm taking my missus.
It's actually
sometime
made
this
me.
week,
It
so-
made me mad after I left. I was actually angry at how
God damn
good
it!
it was.
You've ruined it
I was
for
like
me. I
that-
can't watch any other action films now.
You've ruined me for other movies.
Right. I can't watch any other Tower.
Are you a big
shootouts,
fan?
stuff
Are you a
like
big fan of the original Top Gun?
that. Hells yeah.
I haven't seen the
Yeah,
original
dude,
Top
you'll
Gun.
fucking
Get
love
out,
this.
get out.
Eddie!
I
out.
downloaded it
Get out the house.
so I could be.
You're not allowed to be in
'cause
this house while
the
we're
thing
having
is,
this podcast.
it would be
Get
definitely
out.
straight up my
Get out.
alley. I can tell, but I haven't seen it.
It's super gay.
It's so
You
gay.
love it.
Oh, it's so
That's
gay.
why it's right
It's
up my
so
alley.
gay.
It's so gay.
That's why it's right up my
Yeah,
alley.
Yeah, that's what
lots
I'm
of
saying.
penis
You
and
love it.
asses.
We love it.
They try to. I don't know who greenlit this scene, but there's a point where like the fighter pilots, they're all like jockeying for alpha jock guy,
Yeah.
right? And so to settle like they go and get sweaty and play beach volleyball. It's so
I'm going to
gay.
show you
Dude,
how
there's
much
a
of a man I
scene-
am
there's
by
a scene-
sucking your dick. Watch.
There's an homage scene like that in this, and I loved it. I was like, "Fuck yeah, we're getting gay." I love that we're getting gay.
I'm really looking forward to it personally. So,
Oh, dude, you have to see it, Eddie. You have to watch the original. Like,
yeah, watch
come
the
on, dude.
original.
I'm
first.
gonna-
I feel,
I've downloaded
Sheps. I
it.
feel the need.
Yeah.
The need
The-
for speed. Well, Paris
The
has ruined
need
that.
for speed. Yeah.
Danger
Yeah.
zone.
I don't know what this reference is.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
Oh, God.
Sheps, you're gonna love this movie. You're gonna love Top Gun Maverick. I
Yeah.
can't wait.
I'm-
You need to tell me what you
I'm
think.
probably
going to
take my
it.
chick to see it either tonight or maybe she's off on Monday.
Oh.
Probably Monday night. Yeah.
It's
Oh.
outrageous.
I've been looking forward to it.
It's
so.
outrageously good.
Anyway, back to this.
Okay, yeah, back to
Just
this.
very
Yeah,
quick.
yeah.
Sorry, I just could not mention Top Gun Maverick and how good. Like, it was a great day yesterday. I was
It's
like,
been
this
a
is
good
amazing.
weekend, right? Ish.
Top
Yeah.
Gun Maverick is going to be his version of our Zack Snyder's Justice League. It's going to mate, wow. It's going best action.
I'm watching
movie
it for
ever.
my 5th time. Yeah.
this minute.
So far, all the characters
Yeah.
have been great. There's something about seeing Bail Organa again that feels great. The score is John Williams did the score, and it's it's
He just did the Obi Wan theme, like the main theme of
did
the
he?
show. John Williams did.
and either way, like John Williams.
Yeah.
I mean, you just say that name, you know. It's
Because he came back, he said, I never got to do like a theme for Obi Wan the character, like in the movies. He's like, let me do one for him.
Just upset
So he
for Danny
asked her to
Elfman,
come back
which is
just for that.
But I mean, John Williams, man, what a freaking name.
And yeah,
Young Leia is played very well, and the Inquisitors remind me a lot of the ones from Fallen Order. To be honest, the whole game gives me that kind of vibe with Cal Kestis cameo, ? And the Vader tease at the end has got me so hyped for the next episodes. Overall, 10 out of 10. Can't wait for more.
All right. BN writes in and he says, I mean, where do we begin? The opening of Justice League is so good. With that, everybody knows this. Everybody knows cover. Plus the scene with Batman apprehending the thug and the parademon comes along. Absolute cinema. He's talking about Joss Whedon's version there as well, which makes me extra angry. Although I'm about 20 minutes into this. Okay, he's actually doing a Justice League review here. That's what he's
skip it because there are a few comments. This freaking guy.
Anyway, Black Screen Bro 2, tier right here, T, the other T. I love how they're not trying to make us feel bad for Reva, which was my main concern, that she's just an evil bitch for herself. Overall, I love I love this way more than I thought. My apologies. Way more than I thought I would. The Grand Inquisitor looks weird, but that's something I expect from every cartoon character going into live action. And holy shit, I wasn't expecting Leia to be in it. I love her sass. The actress did a great... It says boy there, but I'm guessing it means job. And young Disney Leia definitely has the Padme in herself, which is cool that they're actually going to explain the whole "help me, Obi-Wan, you're my only hope," just like we said.
Right.
Okay, episode 2. I have 2 problems with it. Why does Reva know about Anakin? My thought was that she saw him when he was a Padawan or something and connected the dots. I don't know. And 2, Disney doesn't know how lightsabers work. They literally killed the Grand Inquisitor that stabbed killed him. I don't care if there's a Bacta tank or back to tank or some shit. He fucking died. Overall, I'm hyped for this. And I can't wait for it'll probably be the last duel.
So
is it his suit can't get affected by them? What's the deal? I don't know.
I have no idea, man. He got shanked through the chest. He's dead.
Yeah.
On the note about her knowing about Anakin, if she is that kid from the opening scene at Order 66 with the Younglings,
she might have seen Anakin.
She would know Anakin's name for sure.
Right.
She might have seen him exactly, so she could well know that Anakin's
it's
alive.
a big connection of the dots.
It's a big stretch, but there's been a lot of big stretches.
There have
far.
been a lot, yeah.
Yeah,
And also,
like it wouldn't be that wouldn't be the biggest stretch.
Agreed,
that would not be
that's
the
not
biggest
even
stretch.
close to the biggest leap. And how many other Force users would be out there of that potency.
Yeah. I mean, because like, I guess a kid wouldn't know this, but like, Palpatine's had other Padawans, other Sith followers. Why would she assume that Vader is Anakin? It's just so. I don't know. It's a leap. It's a leap in my opinion. It's definitely a problem.
leap.
Yeah,
It's
it's
a
a
leap.
bit of a leap.
Yeah.
Mario,
and I hope it's addressed somehow.
yeah, I think a flashback wouldn't hurt too bad, and I do think
I think they have the foresight to fix that. If they're stitching all these other things together from the original trilogy and stuff like that, I think they have the foresight to make that.
Do you think we
fix.
get a flashback with Hayden?
Oh God,
as
I hope
Anakin?
so. Could you imagine that?
We have to. I feel like we have to.
Buckets. I'm going to be out of body fluids. Mario 5380
Yeah, I feel like buckets.
said, to summarize, like a TLDR, fucking fantastic. I was worried the show might end up being very average, but I was more than pleased to find that was not the case. The first two episodes are absolute perfection, showing us a sad and hopeless Obi-Wan. He is very hopeless, isn't he? That's after the events of Revenge of the Sith, everything I wanted from this show, I already got most of it in these two episodes. Obi-Wan talking to Qui-Gon. I'm sure Qui-Gon will come back in a later episode. Yeah, agreed. Obi-Wan finding out that Anakin is still alive just by hearing the word Vader, the same name he heard when checking the Jedi Temple video recordings with where Palpatine ordered Anakin to go to Mustapha's system. But I'll try to keep this brief. I absolutely loved young Leia. The casting for her was perfect, and it stayed true to the character. I found it to be a great way for Obi-Wan to leave Tatooine. Yeah, it's like the only thing that makes sense.
Agreed.
I also loved how Obi-Wan saw Padme and Leia, finally giving us the Padme representation that
Agreed.
that these are also her
Giving
kids
us
and
some
not just
love.
Anakin's. Yeah, Padme deserves so much love.
It's very much like
Great
when it
character.
goes to the original
So
trilogy, even beyond that, they don't think about Padme so much.
They
It's just
really
like,
don't.
These are Anakin's kids.
They barely mention her.
They barely
Yeah.
mention her, and the other thing to remember is go on, bro.
Sorry, you love I just love one of my favorite scenes from Return of the Jedi, from the original trilogy, from Return of the Jedi, is when they talk about Padme and they're like, "Do you remember your mother?" And just remember, she was really beautiful. Like Leia has those Force abilities to have like memories and stuff that early on in her life that she still has like visions of Padme, even when they just met. Like she has the feelings, and she said she even uses the words like I just see images and feelings.
Yeah,
like she has that, and she even says she's like, I just remember being very beautiful and sad. Like it's like wow,
oh, that
and that's
so
just
different,
like that's in Return of the Jedi. Like Leia's always been someone that she's maybe not the biggest like lightsaber user or anything throughout the movies. Like we know she is trained as Jedi, but she just has feelings of the Force and gets people, and they're always people connected. The way she connects to Luke and knows in Empire Strikes Back where Luke is when he's injured. She can connect all the way and feel when Han Solo does. She can connect to her son.
like across
she
the
literally
galaxy,
gives her life across the galaxy. She gives her life because she uses all the strength she has left to reach Ben Solo. And this as well, like the fact she names her son Ben, how important Obi-Wan is, Ben Kenobi is to Leia, isn't just, he was friends with my father. No, Ben Kenobi saved her life when she was a child, and he was a Jedi Master and important to her father. Like, she has connections. And then, it just makes so much more sense how much Obi-Wan and Ben Kenobi was important.
To be connected.
You see it in A New Hope, how connected it is, and you see it in the sequel trilogy, how connected it is for Leia's character. Ben Kenobi names her fucking son Ben.
Yeah,
Han doesn't know Ben Kenobi, so it's only out of Leia's love for Ben Kenobi.
Couldn't agree anymore with you. Yeah. And again, with us finally getting some Padme appreciation, because this leads into the fact that like strength isn't just being strong with the Force and being strong, in a martial sense. Like some of the strongest characters we know are Leia and Padme.
Yeah,
and they lead planets and rebellions and stuff. Like it's incredible what these two women do.
100%.
And I just
strength isn't just brute force.
Right, exactly. It's much more.
There's so many forms of strength.
Exactly.
Compassion is strength.
Exactly.
Loyalty is strength. There's so many.
And one
things.
thing no one ever really considers is not just like their positions as leaders, but like who are these two women? Padme ties down Anakin Skywalker. And right, like what kind of woman do you have to be to you've got to be something really impressive. And then Leia is
Yeah, it's so hard to tie down a fucking serial killer school shooter. That was really challenging.
Well, he's not
really fucking
he's
challenging.
Not that way up to, he's
Like,
not that way at this
Anakin's
point.
Anakin is literally the biggest incel all time. Dude literally shot up a school.
George
Like,
will
he
be
goes to
very
the
upset
Jedi-
that you took that title away from him. Jesus
In
Christ.
fairness, he wasn't a school shooter before, right? They were married and did all that stuff before, and although Padme's kind of a nonce.
Kinda.
And then Leia,
Yeah.
it must run in the family, goes immediately also for another bad boy, the people trafficking, smuggler,
Kisses her brother.
debt collector murdering Han Solo. But anyway, these two very incredible women, and it's just cool to finally freaking see that they actually get the appropriate love that they deserve. And then he says, only bit I'm not a huge fan of, and this goes into Star Wars Rebels spoilers, is that overall this show started with a bang, and I'm certain I didn't read the spoilers, obviously. It'll get even better. By the way, I'm expecting my invite to be on the podcast soon. XXO 5380. No one gives a shit about Rebels freaking animated bullshit. It's the Grand Inquisitor. No one likes animated stuff. Nobody here. We're all live action only. Sigma male chads.
Exactly.
Unlike you incel beta cups.
I definitely am. Yeah.
Yeah, we was being generous by giving you that title, but anyway. Could you read the next one, please? I'm just sending you a
Black
message
Screen Bro
quickly.
1, Alpha Quilala says, I may be a Trekkie at heart. Never mind. Dark Diogo says, I might be a Trekkie at heart, but it's great seeing the overwhelmingly positive response of this Obi Wan show. Biggest compliment I can give it is that it made me consider watching the show, even though I don't care about the film. Why are you even writing, bruv?
Yeah, he's not a Star Wars fan. He's very much a Trekkie fan.
It doesn't have to be one or the other.
I told you about your fans.
Yeah, we need to reconsider this Discord
Why we
server.
read this bullshit.
We could just delete
Why
it now.
we read this bullshit.
The proof
Fuck
has
him
been
to
shared
read
for
it.
Eddie's Promise to the Boys streamcast earlier in the year. Time in Black Screen. Get frick. No one cares about your stupid Trekkie opinions.
Diogo, Dark Diogo Computer Lad writes here, goes, wow, what can I say about The Boys Season 3 premiere? This is the unfortunate part. We wanted to do The Boys streamcast. We wanted to do maybe even Stranger Things, but they've all come out at the fucking same time.
In the same week.
And what the hell?
Stranger Things can fuck off and all. Who gives a
But we're
shit?
going back
agree.
to Hawkins.
I'm sorry.
Gives
In
a
comparison to
fuck
these
about
three
Stranger
shows, right?
Things.
First of all, I love The Boys. It's not Star Wars. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Like, so nothing even
But
touches this.
great.
It's not even worth discussing. However, I would love The Boys. I would love to do The Boys streamcast. And Stranger Things can go away. Compared to these others, I just don't care. I'm sure it's great. I just don't give a shit. We might do a wrap-up episode for The Boys, though. We might have to.
Wow, what a great premiere. I love that they did with it. He's just got into a boys review right now. I love what they did with Huey beating the shit out of
Fuck that. If he's not going to talk
every
about
5
the one
minutes.
show we care about.
Actually, I don't think it comes out yet. I think it's the 3rd of June or something like that. So like this week, but like, how's it? You fucker. And then he goes into Morbius as well. It's Morbin time.
Morbin time. No.
You guys all cunts and I love you all. Okay. All right. I'll read Reese's one then. Love this first episode. I love this first episode. The actors played the roles brilliantly, and the score is Star Wars through and through. I thought they did such a good job of showing how much Obi-Wan's changed since episode 3, where before he was confident and proud in his position as a Jedi, now he seems ashamed of it all and is actively trying to bury the past. So much so that we see him struggle to use the Force, and it's a huge contrast, and I love that. And that scene where he pulls out the lightsaber but ends up not having to use it. We know what you're doing. Stop teasing us, damn it. Yeah, come on, just pull it out. Just do it. Overall, yeah, bloody loved it. Beyond excited for the next episode, especially because the trailers have only shown us scenes from these 2 episodes. That's true. We've only seen scenes from these 2 episodes.
Oh no, that's right. I
There's a
thought we saw
couple of them.
Vader, but it's actually the Inquisitor, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, but no, you do see Vader.
You do?
I thought we saw him
like
walking on
his-
Tatooine,
yeah.
but it could have been one of the Inquisitors.
No, it's not that. No,
you
it's
see his
where
chest
you see him get
buttons.
armored up.
Yeah.
You see his chest thing get armored up. You also see Obi-Wan. You don't know where he is. Maybe if he's smuggling on a ship, but it looks like he's meditating
I
or
stayed
whatever.
away from the
Like-
trailers because I always worry about spoilers.
And we
watch
also
it
see
anyway.
him definitely on Tatooine fighting and shooting a gun as well in a couple of the trailers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
No, there's definitely bits, I think, but probably from at least the next 2 episodes. I think 5 and 6 we've seen nothing from.
I really hope I want it to. I want to go in cold, not knowing anything.
But most of it was most of the trailers that we've already seen. There's just a couple of things we've still not seen.
We've only got 2 more comments.
Very small amount.
And then we're done.
Thank God.
Batfan, the Batfish, says, I loved both episodes. There was so much nostalgia and heart, and Ewan McGregor was amazing. Another moment for Ewan McGregor. Let's just... So good. I thought Obi-Wan's mission to save Leia was an unexpected surprise. A good one at that, too. That's not the line.
He's adapted it, but like it's a surprise. But a good
Get
one.
out of here. The highlights for me were the introduction throwing back to Order 66 and Obi-Wan finally using the Force again. Such a powerful moment as he's already conflicted about reconnecting to the Force again. But also, like Taz mentioned a bunch of times, it's that Ben Kenobi moment when so good. My only gripes with the episodes were when Leia was hanging from the cables, Obi-Wan just stood by and told her to hang on. Just don't let go. Have you seen that cat poster?
Hang in there.
Right. Rather than trying to desperately to help her, even though she's majorly important to Obi-Wan. My other problem is when the female inquisitor name-dropped Vader, it looked like Obi-Wan had automatically had the revelation that Anakin was alive, but it was confusing when he figured Vader was Anakin before the Grand Inquisitor told him. Did he? He knows that Vader is Anakin.
He knows Vader. He already knows the name Vader. He's heard it before.
Yeah, because he
probably
watched.
figured out
Like
from our
Lee
talk,
says,
yeah.
Lord Vader rise.
Yeah.
He
watched
heard it.
Palpatine.
He knows. He
dub him
definitely
Lord
knows
Vader.
Darth Vader is Anakin.
Which also, talking of leaps, and in fairness, there's no way they have that recording,
Yeah.
right? That someone's just
The Chancellor's office is definitely bugged, right?
right.
Mikey T92 writes in, he says, really enjoyed these episodes. Great seeing where Obi-Wan is and how everything that has happened in the prequels is weighing Obi-Wan down. How he failed with Anakin and how he's finding out he is alive and now is the biggest Sith around was brilliant, and his reaction was perfect. Loved the interaction with Obi-Wan and the other Jedi on Tatooine. Great seeing Benny Safdie. Is that someone you guys know?
I
Benny
guess that's
Safdie?
the Jedi.
Perhaps. Just shows he's broken. Just shows he's broken was really enjoyable. Was surprised how much a part Leia is playing in this, but it's fun. The moment that where she's reminded him of Padme was great, but awesome seeing Jimmy Smits again. Not liking Reva.
Yeah, we love Jimmy Smits.
Gotta love some Jimmy Smits. Not liking Reva feels way over the top and cartoony, and just know they're going to do the whole, oh, she's actually good, just had a bad run. I'm hoping I'm wrong, but that's where with that, and I hope she grows on me. The character has potential, but not liking her at the moment. Well, it might happen. We theorize that as well, that maybe she turns out to be good at the end and then Vader kills her or something like that. But
Yeah, buddy.
I think there needs to be a more compelling reason for Vader to do something evil in front of...
Because he finds out she's one of the younglings that got away. Got to finish the task.
That's it. He finds out, wait a minute, you was one of the younglings? Got to do the job.
Right.
All right, that's all of our comments. Thank you guys so much for joining us for another episode of Streamcast.
Woo.
Thank you, Tyler, for being the retard you usually are. It's great comedic stuff. Comedic stuff right here. Yeah, we'll join us next week, guys. It'll be earlier next week.
No more Tyler. This guy's off.
Yeah, Tyler's fuck him. He'll probably join us for another episode towards the end.
I would expect that he would.
Or if you want,
at the very least, the finale.
I was going to say it's an open invite for the finale.
Exactly.
There's no way.
I've got a.
There's no way we're getting to the finale, and I'm not talking to you about this. You might as well come.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
yeah.
Might as well come all over
yeah.
ships.
Yeah.
If you guys want to join us again for next week, it'll be earlier. It'll probably be on Friday when the next episode comes out. This one was just odd because it released on a Friday. But yeah, join us next week. Subscribe to the channel.
Wait,
like,
is it
comments,
not?
all that kind
But
of
it's
stuff.
releasing on a Friday every week, isn't
This
it?
actually goes back to Wednesday.
Yeah, it goes back to Wednesday.
That's what they say.
No, fucking wait. The next episode's on Wednesday.
I think
Yes.
so, yeah.
So sooner than you think.
Oh shit!
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
Yes, I
Yeah,
didn't know
buddy.
that.
Yeah.
That's
It's
fucking.
been a great
awesome.
week for fans, isn't it?
Exactly. I don't know why they
fuck
delayed
yeah.
it to come out at the same time.
Because
Stranger Things
it's
came out.
us. They knew we would need
We
to
record
do
on Thursdays. Those guys, we're going to fuck them.
Right.
Anyway, catch you guys all in the next one. Thank you all for being so awesome. Thank you for your comments. And catch you
Later,
all
boys.
soon.
Goodbye.
Bye.
This is not the
Let's just do
content
gentle
creators you're looking
touches. Let's
for.
do that.
That was a force joke. You're a dickhead.
I just want to touch.
Just go away. I can't. You haven't seen Top Gun. You can fuck off.
Yeah, I need to go see it. I tell you, I've downloaded it.
It's ridiculous. There's other stuff.
Legally.
Have you seen The Princess Bride, Tyler? Wow, both of you get.
I can't believe Tyler hasn't
Shut
watched
the fuck-
Princess
you're
Bride.
Oh yeah, that's a classic.
Hmm.
It's a classic. Yeah, you should rent it. Yeah. Godfather's not easy to come by because obviously it makes so much money that no one's going to give up that for licensing.
Yeah. You should watch Brokeback Mountain. Brokeback Mountain's very good.
That's right. Well, he's coming in September, so
There you go. We'll watch that together. Yeah,
boy, we'll reenact the
all three of us
scenes.
together. We'll get our cowboy
Sorry.
hats out, get our arseless chaps
Well, so
out.
think about it. Either way, right? We get to be either of the two characters or the horse.
There
It's
you go.
perfect.
Perfect. Dibs, I want to be the guys.
Obviously, being the horse is the best. Right, because you're a joke.
Because you're a joke. And he's going to top himself as well.
Oh,
It's got dark again.
Oh my
It's
God,
got dark
no.
again. There we go, boys. All right. Actually, all right, let's stop these
Much
recordings.
love. Much
No
love.
evidence of this.